Dappers without any time here. There's no time for him to actually do this one anymore, and they're just trying to get out of there. Dapper's going to at least try to make it hurt, but no, Mystic actually denies Dapper. Will go down, but he got the kill on Dapper. And that's Fnatic with the 6th round now, and that's a really impressive round to win.
Doma's Sheriff is something else. Oh my word. He continues to come up with this. Magnum as well with the sneaky sneak. Says, hello, thank you. Gets a peek once and says, nah, you don't even get a second chance. Another headshot. Wow. Doma wins that round for the team. That was absolutely huge for Fnatic.
And that kill from Boaster with the Frenzy, how does he outperform, I think, a Phantom or a Spectre, even a Spectre at that range with the Frenzy? Unbelievable there. Really crazy that Fnatic won that round. And look what it's done to Sentinels. They're down to pistols here. It's just a bunch of Sheriffs themselves and a Frenzy. So we'll have to see if they can somehow thrifty this one. Shazam does have the Blade Storm. Couple knives out. Still looking for the kill. You'd want to see Shazam do what Durka did in the first half. Find that aggressive pick, dash away. That's what he's looking for. Two knives gone. Can he find it with the last one? Oh my god, it's so intense. Shazam.
They don't want to give him the give me that back.
Everything.
Boaster says, push me. They're ready. So Boaster's saying, okay, we're playing with Shazam in mid. Everybody rotate deep back spawn all the way through where Magnum has been grabbing a bit of info. No push, no nothing. Might have heard those stars go down. You can see Divide gets put up towards the left side. This triggers what would be a B execute, but now they're about to hit A, and it's only going to be Zoms.
Zoms, though, he's actually able to take down somehow perfectly. Still 4v4, though. Still a plant here coming through for Fnatic. Still Shazam with that one single knife. Is he able to get a headshot with it? That's the question. And refresh those knives. If so, there's a real opportunity here for sure. With that jet. Trying to get that info.
Like it. This is where all those days of watching Shazam in the range doing jumping 360 headshots with knives come into play right here.
Just needs that one frag. Oh! Did as well. The dash comes through. He's going to whiff. Doesn't matter. Oh! In goes Shazam. Finds another. The updraft over the top here as he tries to find the... Oh my god, Shazam! He's making this one work. It's down to 6 now, but there's just so little time here to get this defuse. 6 going to get the kill, but they're going to make that one truly hurt Shazam. Oh, how does he do it? How does he do it?
I don't know, but that's one of my favorite things about a round of Valorant is 2 teams can win. I think Shazam won there for himself and Fnatic won the round. Damn, it's so fun to watch these games, DDK. What an awesome play all around. Fnatic, however, bringing it back a little bit closer for themselves to make this a punch-for-punch first map split. 10-7 as they close that gap. The last 2 rounds have been Fnatic's. I said attack side would be strong for them. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going.
Yeah, what Shazam did there ruined the economy of Fnatic. If Fnatic lose this round now, they're down to a save. So and that would have Sentinels effectively on 12 rounds. So that huge round here. We get an early Trailblazer actually sent through to B there for that information. Also to suggest to Sentinels that there might be some aggression towards B. There's actually 2 players on B anchoring it, and only 1 on B Heaven. So no mid presence really at all here for Fnatic. Sorry, for Sentinels, I should say.
Right. Slowly walking it out, making sure nobody comes down at least. That's about it. They will start to push up slightly. I want to grab a little vent control to make sure the rotation is theirs. Also, being pushed this far up as well, excuse me, for Zoms, you get a lot of info, a little audio cues, footsteps, people leaving A Heaven. It means a lot more. You don't always have to be shooting people. Your positioning on a map can just deliver you so much information. Now you also have Dapper in that situation, a vent, and they're waiting to get this play if Shazam gets himself pinged out and found out. He's going to be opping on that defensive side with the operator, though. Said he might shy away from it, but nope.
Oh my god. That's delaying so much. Those smokes, you can't really push those smokes. And they're going to have to go towards A here to try to sell this as a fake to at least try to make the entrance to be easier. And it might actually be the case here, because Fnatic are going to get themselves across, but maybe Sick can deny the plant. There's no time here. There's no time. They've got to try to plant this one. The trade does come through.
Oh, they're going to get it.
Deny Sick. And indeed, with half a second remaining, they pick it up. And now Sentinels have to retake, but they do have this upper position. However, this lurk from Boaster could be everything if he times it correctly. Can't be too quick, can't be too slow.
Oh, Boaster.
It's a delicate dance, and he's going to absolutely nail Shazam. One more player to go, and he can just try to pressure here, and then comes his teammate Doma in for the assist, and then that leaves it on Dapper. Dapper is not looking good from this spot. There's the tap, and Doma finishes him off. Fantastic defense there of that spike from Fnatic.
Was that round 18? Round 18? That,
yep.
I am keeping that in my head. Holy Fnatic, literally in between Sentinels in their own defensive strategy. Look at Doma. What is this? That was orchestrated perfectly by Fnatic to just be waltzing around Sentinels defense, and they're still wondering what's going on. That is Fnatic turned on. The momentum is there. Let's see what they got here coming into round 19.
Yeah, we talked about how losing that round for Fnatic would break their economy. Well, the reverse has happened. Fnatic have broken Sentinel's economy, really. They're stuck on pretty crappy weapons, except Dapper, who does have the best gun in the game, of course, in the judge. But with that said, we'll see if he's able to use it here, because, you know, Fnatic, what you would want to see from them is, you know, teams at all levels really should have an anti-eco, anti-force buy strategy that is specifically designed to deal with, you know, buys like this. So you maximize your own strength with the rifles and the superior utility and armor, and you minimize the strengths of your opponents, which is usually the numbers or playing close angles. Or these are the spots where they're going to get kills. So see Fnatic now looking to close towards the A site, but that is actually where the most defenders are at this point.
Again, Viper Wall off-site for what they want to do. Activating the smoke over on B currently. That's what Boaster just did. Activated the Heaven Smoke as well as they hit A with all those Astro Stars, and now Shazam going to start him off.
That's a good start as well for Zoms, actually, as he's holding backside still. That's a spike down as well, so the true intentions cannot be questioned as the evidence is there. Magnum trying to wrap his way around. Dapper just causing problems. Still takes down Sick. Does not care about Dapper's cam shenanigans. And it's all up to Dapper, and he does not have the tool for the job. Boaster nails him, and that's the round for Fnatic. Great anti-save there. That's 9 to 10. This is getting scary now for Sentinels.
Absolutely, and this is what we said before. Boaster said it. I repeated what he said. We are a momentum-based team. And you can actually look at it off the play we just watched. They run around the backside. Sick goes, wait, what? He got hit with momentum. Yeah, they darted out a Fnatic player, but Fnatic knew exactly where the rest of the rebuttal would be from Sentinels, that they could run through the defense, and that momentum is giving them the agency to continue to control these rounds.
I hope you guys having fun.
With one shot there, Durga comes in, takes down Tens. Is it another? Yes.
Durga just truly bloodthirsty there, charging his way forwards. Another dash comes in to try to keep that pace high, taking that B side by force. And Sentinels don't have too much at the moment. They're regrouping, but Sick might be able to find something as these Fnatic players scurry into post-plant positions. Have to get the plant first, though, and Sick is going to try to drop in as Dapper also gets that angle, but it will just be Dapper left standing there now. As Zoms replaces Sick's position, perhaps, up on this high ground. But again, there's so many Fnatic players here. Spike now just being planted. Dome is going to hear everything. Oh, the cam tag comes through, and Zoms will get traded out. Fnatic! It seems like they're doing it right here on Split right now, Riv. 10 to 10. They tie up the score.
Absolutely. The rounds coming in on the attack side. They're hitting Sentinels with the 2,900 buy loss credits right now. So Sentinels are kind of stringing buys together. They can't really capitalize on any cash other than 200 credits they're putting in their pockets, like Zoms did right there. And it's going to be tough. This is when Fnatic knows I'm sorry, this one Boaster knows he can start stretching you even more thin, or even thinner, I should say, in this situation. When they can start pulling agency to one side, Sentinels is going to react a little harder, bite a little more, and Boaster and the squad are being able to use that rotation perfectly. Seekers are out for this one as they're guaranteeing themselves little bits of advantage.
Yeah, such quick space you can gain with the Seekers going in front of you there, and Fnatic once again running the same play here. Durka charging his way forward. Not too much here for Sentinels to defend this one, as they are now stuck outside of the site. They've been locked out. Fnatic holds the key. Spike now free to be planted. Shazam's be spotted on the flank. Magnus will be very cautious. He doesn't go down here and give up that Phantom. It's almost better to stay alive and just keep Shazam on that frenzy than risk the engagement. Oh, wow. A little alcove there. The Doma. At Viper's Pit, too. They are trying to lock this in.
And remember what I said about Icebox, is that they will use Cosmic Divide and Viper's Wall almost simultaneously. That with lockdown things, they love to do it. On Haven, they'll do it as they run up to the site and just slam it down. Cosmic Divide goes up, Viper's Pit just grows through it, and you're like, oh, by the way, we have 2 things to get through. So the Cosmic Divide into Viper's Pit is a tried and true Fnatic love there, and they successfully grab another round with that strategy.
And now Fnatic are in the lead.
Yep.
And we are coming toward the final rounds, the final moments of map 1 in this
row now.
best of 5.
Doesn't seem like Sentinels can stop it. Their defense is just falling apart each time. The ground. So it's Fnatic gaining this ground now. In a game where Sentinels wants to try and info deny, the ground they're giving up means Fnatic is on the front doorstep when they're starting the attack. And that has not been an adaptation Sentinels has changed to just yet. Fnatic saying, thank you so much, we'll take the room. Here again, anchoring towards A with the spike for Fnatic. And we'll see if they can get some info here. It is a bit of a stack towards A, so we'll see if this plays in Sentinel's favor.
Yeah, Sentinel's trying to mind game Fnatic here, just as you say. Sentinels gets that kill in mid, but there's been so much success with fast mid-B splits. Sentinels are like, we don't think you're going to do that again. And they're actually, as you say, very well equipped to hold this push as it comes through. They'll give up a ramp, but still, lots of position. Oh, a tiny gap for TenZ.
Whoa!
Find that frag onto Magnum, and now there's 2 more. And Fnatic are in a very, very difficult position. They have to figure out, okay, we can't fully commit to the A site. They're going to try to rotate, but it's going to be a fake, and it has to be because Viper couldn't be with them. Mystic couldn't, with the spike, be with them. So they have to sell this one by getting kills.
Sick and Dapper have not moved. Sights are being anchored on both sides now. Fnatic is pinched.
Oh my
Mystic
god.
with a great shot onto Shazam as the poison orb comes up.
There's the width of the showstopper. There might be a few magical elements coming together here for Fnatic, but Zom's backside will shut it down. Doma, I don't know if he's going to have much time here. There's the peak, there's the delay. It's going to be impossible thanks to Dapper's position. Sentinels tie up the score 11-11, but that was crazy.
I haven't seen much from Zoms this game, but you know when he's tucked into the back of a site, he's good for 2, he's good for 3 there, picks up the big frags. I don't even understand how you see this TenZ. Picks up a kill there, and great job by Zoms at the back of the site to make Doma work for it. That was a much-needed round. That was 6 in a row until Sentinels was able to stop the bleeding right there. They bring it back into their favor, but the bankroll from Fnatic is there to the end of the game. It does not matter.
And Shazam's in this mid peak, this rose peak, but denied by the Astra smoke. And it's a very slow pace here from Fnatic in this default. After a bunch of fast paces, medium paces, they're just showing absolutely nothing. Oh, Shazam, though, will peak at the right time, but doesn't land the shot. And Fnatic now have that delayed mail control.
They're doing a bit of a rotation game. TenZ wants to get out. They just shot for Shazam there to pull towards TenZ because they don't think the operator's going to come out of vents. What a play by Sentinels. It is Fnatic in the site already, but here comes TenZ.
Oh, they don't have any idea about TenZ's position. He's going to take down Durka, the trace through from Magnum, but it's up to Shazam. Backside! There's the updraft, pushes forwards. Shazam can't make it work off the second right click. It's up to Dapper and Zoms to hold this one off.
Beautiful shot.
It is, and That leaves Zomz. No, about Zomz's position to spray! It's not good enough. Mystic locks it in for Fnatic. 12 rounds. Fnatic could be in on an upset in this first map. Again, I can't really emphasize it enough. This is a map that on paper, you would expect Fnatic not to be winning. And it didn't look like they would at the beginning of this. In the first half, it was all Sentinels. But right at the end, it's looking like Fnatic are ready to close this one down.
I'm really glad you brought that up because this will basically flop what the map choices look like. This was supposed to be an almost surefire map for Sentinels. With the way they came in, how many times it was played, the practice they would have had, and that boot camp for Fnatic absolutely paying off. Competition practice or not, they're able to keep stringing together these wins here and figure out what needs to be done to win the rounds no matter what. I think that's one of the things that makes us so excited across the board to watch these teams is the minds behind the teams always making it work in the toughest of situations. Here we have round 24, possible game point for Fnatic. No real ground has been gained just yet, and Sentinels still have Spike down as Durka has fallen.
Yeah, Durka's been having a rough game of split so far. That's okay, because his teammates have certainly been doing a really great job. Such a great team effort here from Fnatic, as they have mid-control for now, but TenZ' peak could mean a lot. We know what he can do with the Sheriff. And straight into his crosshair goes Boaster. That's a weapon for TenZ. There's no one to really protect that. TenZ doesn't know that, and here comes the push to Fnatic onto that B site. Looking good here to try to recover, but they're still down. In fact, down 2 players. Shazam peels away one more.
Oh my word.
2v3 here for Fnatic. Now just down to Doma. Sentinels looking to bring this one to an overtime. But Doma, maybe he can still deny it. He has the spike. There's the bait. And it's going to work for Sentinels. We're going for overtime here, Rib. Map 1 of this grand finals is overtime.
We wouldn't want it any other way. Frags across the board for everybody. Look it up there. I think you got 2 triple doubles. It would be on the side of, I think Fnatic is on the left side there. I'll have to see the scoreboard again if we do. But everybody is putting in work right now. And we see the end of this round coming through. So we break it down now to the overtime rounds. Everybody's going to have full util, full guns. We'll see if we get the naked op in there. That's just the purchase of the op. You're not going to get anything else. Doing the two-step. Doing the two-step. So no operators coming out. We see the Phantom being favored with few Vandals in hands for those one taps. We'll see what the angles are here. The Viper wall's over towards A. Fnatic is on defense to start our overtime round with Sentinels on attack.
And Durka, gotta be careful. The dash comes through. Gravity well will be expended there. That was there to try to catch any aggression from Ropes. Of course, Durka's able to escape. And so that's an early victory here on map control for Sentinels in this round as they force Durka away. But Durka is rotating through to B Heaven, playing B stairs currently. And Sentinels, there's a lot that they can do here. They can pressure Ropes. They can try to take B Heaven.
Heal comes in. One of the Vandal one taps coming through. Durka goes down. First blood going to TenZ. Boaster looking to get set up here by Doma, but they have to watch 2 positions. They could be in a bad spot as another Nebula goes up, and they're entering B.
Oh, that's a pretty damn good flash, and that's going to be enough to punish TenZ. Mystic will try to swing through, but unfortunately for him and for Doma, they can't make that defense work out. And Magnum's just got so many players left to deal with.
Magnum.
He's
coming low. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah, there's not a lot that is left to be done there for Magnum. And that's Sentinels closing out the first round of overtime.
Switching sides.
You gotta say his name again, Magnum. What a stat line so far. What a last few days of play. And honestly, really showing why he belongs up here at this caliber of play. It's been something else from him. And on the Sentinels, on the things that aren't really able to get utility ability kills, he's still putting up a lot of frags for the team, and it's really, really awesome to see. 13-12, game point now for Sentinels on your first map of the best of 5 here in the grand finals. And it looks like as Fnatic go to attack, they will be leaning towards that B side. Anchors on mid and at A.
Yeah, and I really love the Ice Orbs. I just love how they use it at the beginning of the round. It would slow down Fnatic's aggression there. They would have to use a little bit more utility because when that Ice Orb is up, those defenders could be in more forward positions, so you have to take more care. It's a very, for all the poker players out there, very plus EV, plus expected value on that Ice Orb, given that it only costs 100 credits. You'll probably draw out more than 100 credits of value from the opponents just to clear those spots you could be in.
Look at this, 1 minute predicted. Slow orb possibly to the right side. And they know there's a decent amount of commitment now coming over towards this A. Spike, however, has back to B. Sick goes down as he holds the same spot, and Durka uses that to his advantage.
Durka, he's just, look at those reactions. Those are Zuma reactions right there, to be certain. Now, Dapper backside here, looking to do what he can to try to hold this one off. He's just going to have to try to delay, try to hold on to the backside control, buy time for his teammates to get here. Tens is there now, able to help Dapper as that wall goes down. And this is beautiful. Just enough time bought there by that cage. And now Shazam swings in. Sentinels are looking fantastic. And that's it. Sentinels will win map 1 in overtime. A huge save from Sentinels. Again, that's going to be a massive sigh of relief from them. I think they would have been sweating had they lost this first map.
That's exactly what they are showing us. Sigh's relief, and I love that you brought that up because the way Fnatic are so hungry, that is not going to be able to happen again from Sentinels. It took going into overtime and resetting the game. Dan, I feel like if there were more rounds to go before we saw an overtime there, Fnatic were just going to pull away enough to take the game. But the game was so close, punch for punch, the rounds came back. And we can see the discussion going on. They're not mad, they're not angry. But that is one of the first times we've seen Fnatic leaving the stage, instantly discussing what they were going over.
Yeah, and honestly, that is the best possible way to lose a map in this grand final because you're playing it against Sentinels, definitely a team that can be leveled up by individual confidence, and to have a very, very competitive map really push them to the limit, that's going to be the best case in terms of keeping their confidence in check and making sure that you as a team feel like you have the confidence. Now, if we look at that game as well, Durka struggled to have the impact that normally you would want to see from him on Fnatic, but his team still did a marvelous job keeping that competitive. So, with that said, with map 1 going in favor of Sentinels, we're stepping away for a short break. When we come back, Fnatic fight back for the trophy. We'll see you after this.
For Mental Health Awareness Month, Riot Games partnered with the Public Good Projects, a public health nonprofit, to design a free mental health advocacy guide for content creators, streamers, and moderators in North America. The guide provides resources, tips, and information from top mental health organizations aimed to guide conversations around mental health. It's available for anyone who wants to support their viewers, fans, and friends who may be struggling with mental health conditions. Head on over to riotgames.com/mental health to learn more. Welcome back, everyone, to the studio here. And man, I was looking at the script real fast, and then Sentinels kind of, Sentinels, you hear me? Sentinels kind of like gave up the script, and then Fnatic was like, no, we want to rewrite the script. So I'm kind of glad that this is the situation that we find ourselves in. Sentinels take map 1, and the script is fine in this first best of 5 series. Now, Ben Silly, we'll take a look at our Prime Gaming map highlights here, but what a way to kick off the grand finals. My goodness, I'm all hot and bothered.
Golden Boy, Potter, Mitchman, there's no better way you could start this off. Kick things off in the grand finals of Masters 2. An overtime map on map number 1, and this was off how good Fnatic looked here on the attacker side. I did want to mention that on that intro before we got into that map. Bringing out of the sky, what can they do? Can they keep the jet? And I think they used that perfectly. The way that you actually had the sky flashes to come out to enable Durka to just run not only behind Trailblazers, flashes, and the Seekers, but it enabled him to also create that space, get the first bloods when they could on the attacker side, and also allow the rest of Fnatic to really move in together right after that. So I think they played a perfect attacker side too, but there had been a lot of highlight plays for Sentinels to be able to pull that off. I think they lost a bit of that drive whenever they had that tech pause, and Fnatic just took advantage of that and just ran with it. So you have to be careful with it right now, right? It's been a sweaty first map. It's been stressful for Sentinels, where it's a map they're supposed to win quite easily, but now you get into map 2, where it's technically Fnatic's playground.
Yeah, and it's very clear that Fnatic are in the heads of Sentinels here, because everyone said, we joke about the script or whatever, but, you know, conventional thinking will have you believe that Sentinels should have walked away fairly handedly, given the results that we've seen in the past of Split for Fnatic. This should have been a decisive Sentinels victory. Instead, it goes down to OT. They're struggling to pull up the win. They do so in the end. That's what matters for those guys. They get one on the board. But Mitch, one player who we talked about in the pre-shows having the best day ever, and his day seems to just keep getting better. Despite the loss, Magnum is still putting in the work.
Yeah, Magnum's able to put up some serious figures here. And what was interesting, the kind of switch up, I mentioned that versus Team Liquid, he actually was tied up in opening duels. I think it was 12 with Durka. This time around, not so much. It's like the mid to late round where Magnum really reaches his peak, and that was when he was flanking them out and just harassing the back lines. It felt like if you push down the B side on the attack, you'll face Magnum, you'll lose a lot of players. But when Fnatic swapped to the attack side, you could not figure out where this guy was going to be. He just had so many impactful mid-rounds and trades. I really enjoyed watching him play, but the big concern for me was Durka didn't really show up. And I mentioned, yeah, the attack side, you can have those kind of weaker performances statistically as a Jet, but on the defense, he was not winning duels, and that needs to change coming into Bind.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And what makes that challenge that much more difficult for Fnatic to overcome, Potter, was the way that Sentinels plays. They do not allow their opponents to have the easy frag, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. And we know how good all of these players are, but take a look at Shazam's positioning. He was in the ropes area. He sniffed out a potential collapse coming his way, and instead of going for the easy eco kills, he dashes away, he sets up a trap, and the Sentinels just mow them down. And this duel right here, another important factor. Sentinels, they're not making it easy for Fnatic to just find those 50-50 duels, find an opening kill. Anytime they get contact, if they're garnering that aggro, they're bait and switching, they're double peeking. They're doing a lot of clever plays that don't just rely on that headshot percentage to be able to convert these kinds of rounds.
Yeah, you know what? This game has been incredible, and it's already been game 1. Only game 1. We couldn't have asked for a better way to open up the grand finals here in Reykjavik. But for now, let's send it over to your casters as we get ready for map number 2. It's DDK and Rivington.
As we get ready, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go. Riv, are you ready
Let's
to
go?
Oh,
Absolutely. Can we play all the rest of the maps at once? Is that a thing? Can it be that wild? Okay.
Well, you know,
calm down a little bit, but not too much.
We'll start with binds, and then we'll get to the rest. And this is the Prime Gaming Agent Select, Riv, and off the bat, I am compelled to ask you, are you happy with what you're seeing here? Does this all add up?
Looking at Sentinel squad, they got everything from the Raze, the Viper, to the Astra, to the Reyna, as we would expect. And I don't think we're seeing too much different on the other side. Sova, Brim, yeah. So we're good to go. We're good to go. Composition played 25 times by Fnatic. Tried and true. coming out of the Prime Gaming Agent Select for them here on Bind. And Sentinels have been running this one for last 4 plays, which kind of does span a bit of time. But I think 25 rosters of this Agent Select for Fnatic beats that out. And that might be why Fnatic is so damn good on Bind. Attack win rate, 62%. Defense win rate, 62%. So it's like I said before, when you're looking at win rate percentages on maps for sides and whatnot, you're at your 54s, you're like, all right, that's decent. 58s, you're getting up there. Whenever it's over 60, you're like, holy crap, this team is doing something real good on attack. So let's see what Fnatic has. This is their map, this is their pick. We're into map 2 for Grand Finals.
Fnatic kicking things off with the attack. And Sentinels might bring the action to them here, looking maybe for like a swing, but will be falling back actually. The shock dart's not doing too much. Close to taking a lick of damage, but the orb control is with Fnatic now. The wall is quite annoying to deal with. I'm liking the TP play coming through from Fnatic here, suggesting that they're doing a big rotation, but what does it really mean? You know, Sentinels are going to want to confirm this info with a peek on the long, and they just saw nothing off of the peak. So now that means that there's an advantage, there's a window, there's a hole here. That Sentinels rotating to A because they think that this is definitely an A play. Beautiful fake from Fnatic, my goodness.
Oh, I got Boaster in there doing the flex with Brim. He runs in there solo, runs back out. The wall gives him a bit more cover, and now it's a scramble. Shazam here on the outside. His shock dart is already, or sorry, sonar dart is not even used, so they can't get that in. And now it's just going to be havoc being wreaked by the pistols.
The question is, what is there for the post plant? And that's the answer. We get those snake bite lineups. That's going to cause all kinds of problems. Mystic waiting for the perfect moment to shoot the next one, and they got to try to hold on here. Durka will do a good job there. Mystic, with that snake bite, able to take down another. And this is looking quite grim here for TenZ. Last person standing, Durka. He's going to be able to swing with that ghost.
Beautiful.
Make it look easy. Beautiful stuff indeed. And that fake was, that is just amazing. I can't really put it into words how impressive it is and how perfect it went.
Rounds like this for Fnatic actually required so much because they're in with only a few members. You still had 2 members of Fnatic over towards A, mainly Boaster as well, inside A, faking for even more. So all of the members that were at B had to do their job perfectly to make sure that was planted, make sure Mystic could get back. So they kind of handicapped themselves getting into B that round, still were able to make it happen. Great play by Fnatic here. Let's see what Sentinels can do for a second round against the Spectres.
And Fnatic with that opening, taking control of Showers, picking up the orb. Of course, they are just against pistols, and they're well aware of that. You know, normally, you'd love to have a way to get information as to where the stack is going to be, or you'd want to try to pressure something to really mess with the defender rotations. And I was about to say Sentinels being extremely quiet, not showing themselves. That's the only moment that a Sentinels player showed himself, and it's a Sheriff headshot to kick it off.
Quick nade to the back, a little displacement is good. As Dapper gets rocked pretty hard here. So the sonar bolt comes out. I'll get it right one of these days. Beautiful job by Mystic, and it's just slow play. Don't go too hard, too close to the angles, knowing there could be a shotgun, there could be a Sheriff. Play it from distance, and Mystic just setting up all the utility to make sure the plant is nice and easy.
Yeah, I like how he's done this, very methodical. Dapper will get flashed, that's information. They know one is towards that elbow position now. So, oh my god, Sentinels. They definitely have some aim with that Sheriff, but the Spectres still look to be strong enough to hold this site. TenZ is still alive, though. Oh my god, Six just running in and spraying through the smoke. That will be Fnatic closing it down. 2 players surviving, so Sentinels did do an immense amount of damage somehow, but very well played from Fnatic.
Kind of like what we saw going the other way. It's like Icebox first few rounds now on Bind, but flop for Fnatic. Getting a good amount of frags, getting fragged on. And we will see Mystic starting off nice with a bit of money in his hands. So CC has 300 or 3,000, 3,400. So really good money starting now. Doma loves to go for that Phantom real early. Him and Mag are going to go ahead and buy that to make sure they have a bit of hold here versus, a bit of attack, I should say, versus Sentinels. And a quick play towards Showers. So Sick grabs the info that no play for the orb just yet, but utility, double utility, expended towards that area already.
Yeah, it seems like not much coming from the util there from Magnum on that Showers position, but a retake from Fnatic regardless of this position. Contacting in, which is an interesting look at things because, of course, you know, right now, Sentinels, we talked about this before, Sentinels are pretty happy to play fairly passively and with limited information. They have B-long information right now. So we'll see exactly after that recon dart how Sentinels are going to respond here, because that's their last bit of information, is that recon. And Fnatic are looking to really slow this one down.
It's going to be a shower push, a few more guiding light from Magnum, and then the hit. Little drone goes in. So I think Magnum is just going to be the real late lurk here. Fnatic's going to be looking to possibly teleport to him, and Magnum can clear the site, but that's been cleared off. This wall and the way TenZ is playing is not allowing that strat to happen.
No.
Now they go. Now they go.
There is just so much to say about that, but here comes the push. A quick switch up. And they're going to be holding on to this choke point right now. Fnatic, I don't know if they can get through this. A whiff paint shell, but they still can't get through that choke point. They're not going to have time to do this one. They have just simply run out of time.
Oh my word.
God.
Dan, this Viper...
heinous.
Exactly. That Viper wall, now we see what it does. Whether or not TenZ is standing there, the initial strat to want to TP or know if that TP area is safe is now real muddy. And we saw that. The play was to go back over to Sky on the other side of the map. But since TenZ can own this area, that doesn't happen right away. It stalled the strat at a perfect time. And Fnatic was left kind of scrambling at the end of their own, not knowing the Sentinels were going to pull that off. So we see that Viper wall again, and now we know exactly what that little corner it does by the teleporter provides, just in a mental game for Sentinels.
I get I was going to say, somewhat of a battle here from Fnatic for Showers. More of a concerted effort from Sentinels to take that Showers control. But they will give it up. Sentinels not really interested to actually fight over these positions. They just want to force Fnatic to expend utility themselves, to slow down Fnatic, to keep Fnatic guessing. You know, is Sentinels pushing this? Do they have a player here?
Right. And you would think the answer is yes, because you're playing against Sentinels, right? So the dynamic and the game change that they're also providing and not pushing is causing Fnatic to have to move the chess pieces around a little more. Something they're used to. Not going to be too much of a problem. That's why we're getting such damn good games out of this.
There's nice. 2 Astra Stars there on short, though, to try to block this push. Do Sentinels have enough stall here? I don't think that they are going to be able to stall this one out, especially given the Seekers coming through here as well. Big effort, and the orbital strike is going to be popped as well from Fnatic to truly take control of this site, but they're still struggling. TenZ with a peek around the side of the smoke is keeping this effort from Sentinels alive as they swing onto the spike. Fnatic holding on, though. A 4 versus 2 advantage for them at this point. The recon dart sent flying, but it really seems difficult here. TenZ needs to find that first magic kill to start setting the action into motion. He does get it, but he's going to lose Shazam in the meantime. Heal comes through, and Doma with the peak. Fnatic closing it down 3-1 now.
Really nicely played by Fnatic there. You know, we see TenZ coming in, missing that nade. Sick coming in, missing that nade. It would have been actually very big to get into Showers. So a few mistakes there on a Sentinels kind of retake. Defense retake. I'm just getting back and forth now that we watch the replay there. But it always changes you when you see the name switching from red to blue in a replay because of how the players see it. But yeah, seeing that nade come back over and not be able to get into the site was huge. Great utility usage by Fnatic at the end of the round. They're up 3 now on their own picks. Or up 2, I should say, with 3-1. And we'll see if they get this long B play to work once again. The wall is still there. Played from Sentinels.
Yeah, this is a very fast... Oh my god, TenZ is going in!
Oh dear.
With the Empress, he's unable to find it. It's such a smart move, but the timing isn't going to work out. The Showstopper will deal with him. And this isn't a really interesting bit for Fnatic. You know, they have the ability here to actually just keep the pressure up but not commit. Shazam taking down Doma. I'm not sure if that changes things here. 1 HP there for Durka. And there's the showstopper coming through from Sick as well. So many weak players here. Dapper will finish off Magnum. The trade through to Sick. The question is still whether or not they're going to commit to the site, and there is the answer. The quick switch up through the TP to that A attack, which is where Zoms lies in wait.
Zoms always the anchor, always good for 2.
Welcome to my world.
Timing here from Zoms.
It should be the walk-in. Nobody cleared his right. He actually just fires in. So Zoms gives himself up. And there's the TP. Knowing one more was coming, that's going to be the Vandal for himself. And we'll see if Zoms can have it. 39 HP combined versus the 42 of Zoms. It's a one-shot on each. A collat if he hits it. And they're going to spread out for this. Viper bites there, but he's going to play elbow. Mystic is not in position for that.
This is so completely doable here for Zoms. Oh, especially like that. Durka does not hear any of the
all he has to do is
cues.
tap it. I wonder if there's a relay from the team of the HP here. 34 feels like enough to take a headshot, but he does have 150, and a tap and go is what he needs. There's the tap. Oh, it's a bounce from elbow! And he thinks it's from long! Oh, Mystic, you 5-head, man! Oh, my word, what a play!
Yeah, Zoms really needed him to have no snake fight available to win that one.
Oh, I thought it was unavailable from that position. He would have to peek out, but he doesn't. And literally sends Zoms for a little ring around the rosy there. What a play. What a well-deserved round for Fnatic there.
Yeah, so awesome to have multiple lineups for that. Very, very smart.
Oh my god. You love to see it. You love to see
so
those.
Great. And that's Fnatic 4-1. And it's looking like a struggle here for Sentinels. They're on a half buy. A couple, a judge. Zoms, of course, saving the Vandal. And 3 Sheriffs. So not to be trifled with this setup here from Sentinels. We'll see if they can make anything from it. Durka has the Hunter's Fury. No ults available here for Sentinels. Ooh, Zoms taking it to the face.
Spike down A.
Quick chomp there. 2 down now. Dapper coming in with that judge. Got a bit of work to do. He's in U-Haul trying to wait it out right now, but we don't see Fnatic wanting U-Haul. They'll throw up. Does U-Haul really need to be taken if we defend it? We'll find out what that answer is. No, right now. And 5-1 as Fnatic move forward. It's something I've noticed more and more, Dan, is U-Haul's kind of become this thing where we have to take it. You can't plant. And now it's like, we'll fight them from there. Let them choke themselves up in U-Haul. And the round really doesn't revolve that much around it.
Yeah, if you have the right positions to definitely mitigate that loss. And we go into another buy round here for Sentinels, who certainly are currently all aboard the struggle bus. We'll see if they're able to get off of this next stop.
Just doesn't seem like they can adapt and come up with that regular Sentinel way of shutting down a strat. I think it's because
they just like hit you with that first bullet. That's pretty incredible there from Sentinels. What a start. They popped the Viper's pit as well on short. So here for Fnatic, they're feeling like there's no other answer than this B push. The brute force has to be what brings them over the line here. They'll get the initial pick, but they're quite tagged up, and Zoms is going to be able to delay this.
Quick drone in. Shazam steals that. Looks like they'll be firing Hunter's Furies back and forth. Doesn't have to peek out. Oh, he gets the spam, though, as Zom keeps himself within the tub just perfectly on the Hunter's Fury. Now it's going to be Util flying into that hookah. If Durka and Mystic have their work cut out for them. See if they can gain a few alt points here along with credits before they get pinched in. If they go one side here, they're only going to find Viper. That could be huge, leaving Sentinels out of position, but it looks like it's going to be pretty much a save here to see what they can do.
Yeah, it's such a difficult spot. It doesn't feel like there's any answer here for Fnatic. So you start to assess, okay, well, what can we do? What is the best result from what we have? And it's, you know, either a save or doing a lot of economic damage. The preference on the save, it looks like. You know, Fnatic are going to have a pretty solid economy. So, or at least I think that they should. We'll see the money maybe in a moment. But there could be an argument for them to go for kills to weaken Sentinels' money, but
right.
I'm sure if that was the case, then they would be doing that.
Well, we're seeing it kind of tip over into alt realm, right? You have, sometimes you'll get the first time we saw these teams play, it was a round 3 dueling Blade Storm from both Durka and Tens when they were on Icebox. So now we're into 4, 5, 6, we're getting to round 8, and you see more ultimates. You see them start to kind of string together, and that was Dapper being able to use a Viper's Pit to just push the team to the other side of the map, right? So slowly, Sentinels is finding ways to secure themselves around by setting the pace with those ultimates, as we saw Fnatic doing that last map as well with Mystic's ult.
Yeah.
See what they have here going in.
A couple notes here is that we have both Seekers and Orbital Strike available. 2 great offensive ultimates there for Fnatic. So I'm sure they would be looking to try to find a way to use those here in this round if they can. At the same time that Sentinels have that information as well. So, you know, no one's playing U-Haul, you know, like some of these obvious spots. Just we're seeing the presence from Fnatic, you know, running that default, trying to make it look like it could be anything. Oh, look at this wall. They going for a push?
At least the info to say they're not long, so maybe we can lean somebody else towards the other site. Right now, they're playing full Sentinels retake. You can see that here. It looks like they all actually might crush through the teleporter, use Viper's wall to then come through showers and route mid if they don't all rotate and lean back with the way Sick is about to rotate. So this wall that Viper has up, that Dapper has up, cuts off so many angles, creates so many pockets. And I wonder if that will be their TP through.
Look at this delay, Rip. This is an insane delay on short. This is going to cause problems here for Fnatic. They've got to get... I don't think there's anything that can deny the spike being planted, though, but the sheer immense delay has created a lot of time here for the rotation for Sentinels, and 6 in that U-Haul position.
45 seconds once it's planted to get back over to the spike and get that defused. Nobody went through the teleporter. Here comes the Hunter's Fury to distract, to disrupt. And that's going to make only a bit of movement come out of Fnatic. They feel comfortable here. Sick grabs one in the little crouch right step and shot.
They're trying to fight from the back of short here. It's looking difficult. The Orbital Strike comes through to try to deny the spike, and it will do just that, taking down the diffuser. Zombs has to get these forward kills. The hold, the stick is coming.
Oh my God!
It's going to drop Dapper, and it doesn't look like there's time here for Zombs to win this one. Can't find the spray. It's Boaster all day. And that is going to lock in another one. A very close one there from Fnatic, but they do it nonetheless. 6-2 in advantage.
Clutch. Absolutely clutch coming in there from Showers. What a flank. What a timing. Boaster on delay. Whether it's the Viper, whether it's the Mollies, whether it's the Orbital Alt. Oh my word. Boaster just playing super well there. Calm, cool, collected. And then a bit of hype. Coming in around 9.
Look at this aggression though, Riv. In the next round, the Sentinels are looking to try to strike back here, just take initiative away. And they've done just that. They've got the early pick. That's a great opener for Sentinels.
Picked up. Shazam trying to get closer and closer to those ultimates again to make sure they have a way to stop Fnatic on these rounds. They're just out shooting now. The momentum has been gained. They may have dropped a bit at the end during the overtime of Split, but Fnatic from map to map are ones to be able to string that momentum together. Tens hiding in the same spots. They're not playing the wall this time. So you kind of see the precedence they set off that play. Tens will only be there when the wall's there. Now it's an off angle. And he hopes to be able to just kind of dismiss either way into the teleport and get himself to safety there. So interesting adaptation as they try to catch Fnatic off. But Fnatic's movement has just been so good. They're not falling for any of these traps.
Oh, dude, I was just about to say, Such a good punish from TenZ that angle is players will often think that they're safe once they clear Hookah to jump up there, to spot backside. But they were baited into a false sense of security, and TenZ gets that kill, and his teammates will do pretty much the same elsewhere on the map here. It's looking like a really great round here now as Mystic is the only one left. Sentinels are going to be getting that flawless, unless...
10 seconds left.
Unless...
Oh! Hey, you gotta hold one of the angles, right? You're always like, but what if I hold in the middle of the angle? Well, then you just have a less % chance to get to the right or left. So if you're on the right angle, you have a better chance. Prime Gaming Flawless. We've had a few come in through this map as I blabber on about random stuff. And TenZ nicely opening that one up after a very quiet round. Both teams really stretching the info to see what they can get before they make something happen here. And a good pickup there, 6-3. You can see the stack of money on the side of Fnatic lower and lower, as they only got 1,900 coming into this round. 2,400 if they lose this one. So really only about $2,600, $2,700 with the win will be in Fnatic's bank account.
I love this from TenZ. This is why TenZ is scary. Very powerful in these positions where he tries to walk and find contact. If he hits that first shot, changes everything. And that early aggression is alarming if you're Fnatic. And I love this from Sentinels. They shore up now to defend this hookah position. Maybe after that long push, Fnatic will think, well, this might be easier to take.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, 7 HP. That's the paint shells, though. He's going down. And TenZ is going to drop down. They anticipate it. And Fnatic play perfectly off of these opening picks, swarming the site, trading through. They cannot be stopped.
I question putting that many people in hookah with the Raze ult up, but okay, you do what you got to do. Fnatic absolutely took that one home. Oh my God, sick. Comes up, this nade's going to enter the tube. He may be able to displace Boaster a bit as Boaster makes his way out. Little satchel for the peak, and he's going with 7 bullets. Feels confident for a few tap-taps.
It's going to be a tough one. And it's not going to work out. Boaster takes him down. A lot to ask for there from Sick. Beautiful transfer, though. Great display of those individual mechanics that we know everybody in Sentinels has, as well as Fnatic. It's so juicy. We've got to look at it again, of course. Beautiful. I mean, the third one, I feel like he's winning that fight. If the peak,
yeah, Boaster was like, wait,
there.
no. But yeah, I feel like Sentinel's kind of losing track of the fact that Raze had ult there. Obviously, there's a chance that, you know, we don't get Doma going hookah, but to stick that many people in hookah with an ult up is very, very scary. And Sentinels fell prey to Fnatic strat on that one towards B. It is going to be spiked down here. Sick getting his return. Little medicine that he can deliver as well. And that's going to be a nice first blood on this round for him as Boaster gets taken down and can't grab any more info for the team.
And it's also difficult because Boaster, he was one off of his orbital strike. And he has the smokes. This is not the agent you want to be losing before being committed into a push. Oh, hello, Sick. He's going to get caught in a very awkward position there with the paint shells out. Dapper will trade at least. In goes the snake bite, but Dapper, he's got to get out of there. He's not in a position to hold that anymore. Tenso, with all of the utils still up on short A, is able to take advantage. Out comes the Trailblazer, though, but it doesn't look like anybody can punish that. TenZ keeps the pressure on the planter there, and that's going to be a wrap. Sentinels, great recovery.
7-5. That score looks familiar for a first half. Let's see if we can get there. Sentinels will bring it back, or the 8-4 becomes the momentum that Fnatic gets to work with. Sick over the molly, nice and quick. And then they held Cat. Oh my word. Just Doma flying through like a freight train. I love when these duelists commit for Fnatic and Sentinels. They are full in there. There's no hesitation. So we're getting some of these awesome plays from. Last round of your first half. Let's see what Magnum decides to go. He still goes to Spectre with full armor. Bulldog for Jerka. And rifles on the side of Sentinels here. We'll see what they end with.
Yeah, we can see again that exchange to take control of showers for both sides. Typically, Sentinels, they show light presence to help Fnatic overcommit their util, and then here's the retake util for Sig. So, who used more, 6 in a pretty good spot. He actually wants to keep pushing this one. He's going to go for the fight. Wow, Bosa's ready for it, and Dapper's there too, showing presence. So right now, what this also says to Fnatic is that there's a very limited defense on short. Because there's 2 players that just showed themselves in showers.
Exactly, and taking Raze down is huge. Raze bind 2 things that synergize. Your nade can basically stop every plant that happens on that site. So now, actually, a lot of freedom is gained by Fnatic here, and they can take a lot more space without thinking that agency of paint shells will come flying down. Ooh, Dapper to clean up Boaster as he fakes it once again. This is a lot like that first round or second round strat they ran.
Yeah, this was a fantastic fake. Pulled all the players out of the B side of the map for the B attack to come through. Lovely stuff here from Fnatic. Oh, TenZ comes through, though, with a vengeance with that Vandal. Takes down Doma. Looking for more. The Empress is out there. He's very dangerous right now as TenZ starts storming through. He is alone, of course, but again, very dangerous in any fight. Trying to make it impossible here for TenZ with this post-plant utility. The Poison Orb, very hard to deal with. Snakebite comes through as well. And at a certain point, TenZ has to get this halfway at least. Coming off of it here, trying to bait out these players. They're just not giving it to him. They're playing this one perfectly, making it impossible for TenZ. Very well done by Fnatic. You can't give TenZ anything.
No, you can't. And you can see him trying to use every tactic that would be in a player's arsenal for that situation. Tapping the spike to draw someone out. Creating a fake firefight to draw someone out. And by that, I mean you shoot your gun, kind of make the enemy believe you've made contact with one of their teammates. Nobody was biting from Fnatic. They played that super smart. TenZ was doing everything he could there. And like you said, you cannot give TenZ a thing, and Fnatic did.
And here we go, moving to the second half of Map 2 in this grand final. We're going to flip the script here. And I'm curious what Sentinels will be able to accomplish here on their attack, whether they'll have a better time of it versus their defense. Fnatic's attack is very strong on this map. Very forward setup here on short from Fnatic. Love to see that.
So that nade they just threw, the Poison Orb actually has no effect because there's such a push already coming from Fnatic. So Fnatic are like, okay, that orb's a fake. They're definitely going B.
Oh, Shazam! That's a nice
flick. They're not wrong.
That is a very good save. That was a 2K for Fnatic. Things would get very hairy very quickly, but look at how they're positioning it. Sentinels are all trying to take control around Garden and Long. Completely evacuated the sites. A couple players quite weak here. This is also low for Fnatic, so this could really go either way here. They're trying to get the positional information. I think they understand what's going on right now. Fnatic. There comes the spam into the smoke, just on the edge of the smoke.
Wait a minute.
Stick from Bosa.
Wait a minute. They don't know where it is. Ping it.
Bosa's getting the stick, and that's Fnatic picking up the pistol. Oh no, Sentinels. Bosa, he's right on the edge there of that smoke.
Everybody was shooting at the middle of the box. Did they forget where they planted? That is not something that can happen. Great job by Boaster getting in there. Tuck and roll, gets himself in for the defuse, under pressure, cutting the right wire in. What a play there. The identification that everybody was long with Durka getting a great owl drone in there, Boaster was like, okay, let's go for the smoke defuse. Just fearless. Great job by Fnatic there. 9-4 as they pick up some pistol rounds. I'm sure the Fnatic fans are happy about that one.
Yeah, definitely. They're looking really good here on what I think in a lot of cases you could look at as one of their home maps. Fnatic are extremely good at this.
Home and away. Yep.
And so, you're expecting to see this confident performance. That said, TenZ as a Sheriff, he's going to creep out of showers in the forward position. He takes down one. Now it starts to get scary because TenZ is on a roll with the Sheriff as now Sentinels have more ground to work with, more space to start to take. It starts to get quite constrictive here for Fnatic. Not really many places to stand as they try to retake this. And TenZ is on these angles with this Sheriff. Finally, he'll go down, but has he done too much damage?
TenZ with the Sheriff, Zombs with that damn frenzy. I'm not sure how they do it over and over again. The stick in here, that's going to be a Spectre. Double Spectre coming in now from Fnatic. Dapper with the Ghost. Can he do just that? Cannot take down Durka. That's a jumping classic with a little bit of cheese on the end. And will they be able to protect this spike?
Yeah, this is looking very difficult. Zom's in the back as well. Sentinels, great conversion there from them. Again, just getting that forward creep out of showers. You can see it right here. Ten's in a position to punish as that utility comes through. And, you know, he's just so confident in all these peaks. Brilliant round there from Sentinels. And a needed round because Fnatic are really looking very good when things are going according to plan. So spicing things up a little bit, Sentinels.
They are. You're definitely trying to find ways in and around Fnatic's methodical play. They love to stay structured. We kind of said that in the first time these teams played, is that the way the Polish and the Turkish teams like CNED and the other really aggressive teams they would play back in Europe was through a few players beating them, like CNED going ham, able to just destroy that structure Fnatic likes to keep together. Here, they're not really letting Sentinels into that structure. Fnatic are still able to play their game, but with rounds like we just saw, you can see Tens still makes something like that possible here. Sick and Zoms coming up big as this is that save round for Fnatic. And Dan, another thing to mention is, as we said before, Icebox and Haven in their first meeting, those pistol rounds went 1-1. So this is just kind of going the way of how these teams play, 1-1 on pistol rounds.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what you love to see, just making it as even as possible, even out the variance as much as possible.
Exactly.
And a lovely prime gaming for this moment here, particularly from Sick at the Ends. And that's ult charge. That's the showstopper now ready to go because of those 3 kills. And Tens also has the Empress, so a lot of offensive power from the abilities there, ready to go for Sentinels.
And just a few rounds into the second half, too. That's a lot of stuff to start with, and that's where you can start to turn the tides of the maps. When you know the opponents are back on a bye round, but a win would throw them back onto an eco, you can go for the throat, you can use these ultimates, and we might just see the showstopper being presented here.
Yeah, the double satchel, perhaps, out there. There's already players here, though. So the question is, I mean, Sentinels have no presence on the A side of the map. It does really feel like they're going to commit to this. That's a great opening pick there onto, again, a very important agent. That's the Brimstone gone. Sky's gone as well. Fnatic in a very bad spot. Look at this, though, Sentinels. They're just holding their ground. They're cutting the noise. They're looking to force a mistake from Fnatic.
Deep dart from Sand there coming in from Shazam. They know that Pocket's clear and just a little bit around Pocket, but Garden has not been, they have not regained control there. So a lot of damage can be done from Doma. They do decide to use the showstopper to create more space, and this one will fizzle out. But the intentions were there, and the space has been made. Oh, my word.
That was close. Yeah,
beautiful. You see what they're still thinking about, Dan, all the time. Any of us would have felt comfortable to plant, gone down, and the round could go anyway. But players are always ready to make a move.
It's such an interesting dilemma, too, when if you go back a little bit into the spot where Sentinels are sitting in that 5v3, and at that point, Fnatic have to stack something, or they have to split up. And so just by waiting, because Sentinels don't have anyone on the A side of the map, but nor do Fnatic. So by Sentinels waiting, they're still guaranteed the ability to maybe punish Fnatic if Fnatic try to push for info towards B. Sentinels will be set up to just mow them down. Or if it's the case that Fnatic split up, then Sentinels get an even stronger attack. And even if there's a gamble on B, well, Sentinels still have the ultimate advantage, so they're still in advantage. So they just give themselves more opportunities to be ahead by cutting the noise and waiting after these picks. Oh, that's actually such a gross kill to get through the bottom of the wood there.
Word. And kind of looking at these past few rounds as well, I should say looking at the maps we've seen throughout teams playing Bind here at Masters REYKJAVIK, is that Hookah wasn't always attacked throughout these games. It's usually the Rays. Things will happen, but we see Sentinels going there over and over, drawing some smokes, drawing some util. Last round, it was 3 in there as they get pushed here through mid. Fnatic coming up strong with this eco. Actually, it's a rifle eco. Spectre there for Boaster and Vandals, Phantoms around the board.
Yeah, really aggressive stuff coming in here for both teams. It's like playing F-Match at this point. Though it's just Durka and Boaster left now against 5 players. So certainly a grim outlook after the dust settles. And Sentinels just sticking together. They're not putting anything to chance here, making it as hard as possible here for Fnatic. Ooh, with that said, though, starting to get a little problem in Boaster, but he's going to get taken down. 9-8.
Knowing there's so much chaos there. Oh, my word. I think what they went with was a low amount of util rifle buys, so they didn't hurt the economy too much. And Spectre, if you could, to keep the money kind of in place for the next few rounds and not fall too much to the wayside here. We'll see as they come out. Yeah, they still have quite a bit of money on their side. They are currently getting 2,900 for each win, so add that to the left side of all that credit score, 2,900 on top of that. So they'll be fine next round, but still, it's the Durka Marshall round, Dan. What can he put up for the team? Can he surprise?
Yeah, well, we have a Showers control, and it's actually a walk all the way through for Durka, but he will get caught, unfortunately, for Durka. I like the idea. But, you know, Sentinels, they're just waiting, holding every extremity because they're looking for pushes, and they're going to find one on either extremity. Magnum on B long, and Durka on Showers.
Magnum has been putting a pretty hard precedent on pushing long. That's the second time he's been taken down. Zombs was able to do it with a Spectre earlier. So he's kind of playing off just a repeated motion there, which Fnatic seems to be falling into. Zombs has found it out. Now they push into sight. That U-Haul control is looked at, and it will be gained slightly by a bit of that Viper bite from Dapper. And now it's going to be the plant. Sick getting out of there with a little bit of toxic waste on his feet.
Yeah, Thames creeping through Showers. Dangerous, very dangerous indeed. Able to finish off Doma, and he's not going to stop with that one. He's looking to bring it all home here in this round at least. And there we go. Sentinels closed it down with another Prime Gaming flawless for them. 9-9, all tied up here, and all of a sudden, it's starting to get scary. Just like it got scary for Sentinels on that first map, it's looking scary for Fnatic as they lose momentum on their home map.
Ooh. And there's that push again. Zombs able to take care of. Obviously, again, this round being a bit of a save here. So Fnatic's going to put themselves out a little bit, push lanes, figure out what they can find, and use that intel. Unfortunately, there was a lot of Sentinels being ready for the push. And at 9-9, we have a tactical timeout here. We did say this would be a buy for Fnatic, but again, to recap, the econ at max loss credit, it's 2,900. So if Fnatic lose again, you can see Mystic will have 3,400, 3,600 for Boaster, and you're looking at 39 for that AK full armor buy, and then to add your utility in, so you're not halved in there. So you can see the pressure Sentinels are starting to put on through the econ game, through the map game, and starting to figure out Fnatic here.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because, you know, so much of it came from TenZ having that opening from Showers so long ago with that Sheriff, you know, winning around like that, winning the Thrifty situation. That changed things so much because Fnatic was set up, you know, they won the pistol. They're set up to really set themselves into a strong opening on this second half. But now Sentinels have this huge string of rounds, and that's got to feel oppressive if you're Fnatic. Definitely a drop in confidence. So we'll see what they're able to muster as we get back into this one. Oh, looking like on the minimap, are we going to see anything in the aggression there towards B long? We might.
Not sure.
There's initial flashes. Certainly Showers control coming through as well for Sentinels.
Careful here.
Let's get into it. Over to the right. Viper walls both on A, intersecting right towards the default spike plant. It's going to be... It's the first time they've had so many towards B, just kind of rushing it out. I think might have a push through the teleporter from Raze here at the end. If Sick wants to do it, he may rotate back, though. And it looks like it is going to be Fnatic setting up to retake this A site.
Yeah, that's big, too. Getting rid of that Viper pit and everything that was, you know, on that site. So now it looks really difficult here for Fnatic. They've got 4 players on this retake. Magnum is there from Showers, but his position's known now. Yeah, this is a very difficult scenario for Fnatic. They're going to have to be...
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I thought Magnum's position was known because of the flash, but they have no idea that he's there, and that changes absolutely everything. 2 opening kills. The orbital strike, that's going to force one player out of position. Magnum has now spotted Shazam in the corner, and so it falls onto Shazam. He's going to go down. My God! Fnatic. Just because of Magnum having that position, that really threw everything. It seemed like I thought that they would know he was there, but hey man, it's hard to hear everything when there's so much happening.
Oh my word.
Amazing.
Able to pick those frags up, so nicely done. And if you can remember, what happened between the first interaction, or the first meeting of these two teams was Sentinels was picking up a hell of a lot of sprays through the smoke. So it's only right Fnatic, you know, puts a few under their belt here for this game.
I think Bosa with that pick as well got the orbital strike. I might be wrong, but either way,
absolutely huge.
It's, yeah, kind of crazy, but we'll see if that is enough to kind of tip Fnatic over the edge here. Sentinels still with a solid buy going into this round. They'll have that quick hookah control. We saw that in the previous round, but, you know, Sick was only here with the paint shells and the harassment just to, you know, really create that strong sense of presence, and he fell out of that position.
Sick tempting hookah right now. Yeah, continuously back and forth. This is the first time they really don't send a bunch of people into hookah. Now, as they start to walk towards. Different setup, however, for Fnatic on that defensive side. Easy backpack into the teleporter if Doman needs it. But if there is a lot of sound towards long, he can activate Showstopper and clear that path out immediately. So darts are going in. A little bit of knowledge now to Fnatic that a B site hit may be taking place.
Oh, Sick! Able to take down Magnum. I really like the garden and long defense here from Fnatic, but it's going to be tough for them to hold it. It's a strong push coming through. Durka, that is a phenomenal pick to find, and he gets straight out of there as well. The 3 versus 4. The Showstopper's out, but it's not going to be able to do anything at this point. Zombs holding the push against Durka. Durka walks straight into Zombs. The ever patient, ever methodical Zombs. Now Fnatic, they're going to need a lot more than a methodical approach to make this work. 2v4. Sentinels looking good to tie the scoreline up here. It looks like the save is called. So one quick note, Riv, we heard from like this very small snippet of team comms we got from Fnatic was we heard Bosa saying at the beginning, I think after they won the pistol, he said that Sentinels don't really play the showers control. They don't really play showers, is what he said. And we've seen that a lot of the time so far, that Sentinels haven't really been putting too much emphasis around shower to the early portion of the round. And a lot of these rounds also, we haven't necessarily even seen Fnatic doing it.
Yeah. I think the showers game for Sentinels at this point is a mind game with the wall, right? They can go there. There will be times they are, but you're always going to see that wall. And that's what will slow you down in the first place, to wonder what options could be brought out, right? Could be somebody hiding on the left, somebody hiding on the back right. As soon as you clear the wall into showers, there could again be someone on the back left. And then once you get into sight, you don't have full vision. So it just adds a whole different level of Sentinels having to get in there. And it seems to be that shower control just is not something that they want.
Yeah, and a quick note here, we have the Seekers and Showstopper available for Fnatic. Fnatic also have no money. If they lose this round, they're in trouble. Sentinels typed in the cheat code. They have full money. They have infinite money. They'll never run out of money for the rest of this match and regulation. So the pressure is hugely on Fnatic. They must convert this round. They've just used the Seekers for info. And so now all they have is the Showstopper. Look at the slow default from Sentinels again. They're just really sweating out Fnatic. Fnatic not moving a muscle. They have hookah control. They've got garden control. They're playing that 3-2 setup. 3B2A. Mid-run info with the drone. See nothing there, and the rotation comes through as a result, and there goes the push from Sentinels into A. So there's a scary moment, Riv, for Fnatic.
Everything's a stall right now. Any utility coming out is just saying you cannot pass this choke point. That wears off. Mystic puts himself in a very tough spot to find a win from that fight. And now 20 seconds left in the round. A little toss over from Doma as he lost the the paint shells right over towards the spike. And it looks like they may have just enough time, but it is going to be very tight to get the spike down. Boaster with the classic, and he is going to be throwing the molly down on that.
10 seconds left.
They're going to grab the spike. Are they going to be able to get anything out of it? Yes, they take down Boaster. 10's wrapping around the corner, and Sentinels convert the round. And we talked about how desperate things look for Fnatic on the money. We'll see just how bad it is or is not.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how much they went into util, there's things you can do to save yourself a few bucks. But we will see. What a cheeky little play from Boaster coming around. But unfortunately, the flank was flanked. And that's all you can see about it. And there you are, you're correct. The money is just not going to be there. And we see setups already trying to come through a little bit for the side of Fnatic, but it's going to be Sheriffs and Magnum with a Spectre. He's the guy who's been putting up a lot of frags, so I can see that Spectre doing a lot of work here, even against Sentinels rifles.
Ooh, Bosa dodges the boombot there as well. And he's going to walk through the smoke to ask questions of this one. Really interesting, but because Bosa sees Sick falling back, that is very indicative that Sentinels will be playing more towards A. But now that he's been seen, you know, Sentinels know that that's indicative. So they know that the rotation would likely go towards A. So now they can reset and go towards B. So it's you know, adaptation upon adaptation based on what happens. All 10.
And now to push forward. So that will cause a little bit of movement out of Fnatic. They don't really have a forward strat they want here. They're holding angles with Sheriffs, so it's still going to be very tough. Boaster there just with a sliver of health under the window, and if he even moves, Sick is going to take his beret right off. There it is.
And in the site, Sick goes double satchel all the way to the back to claim the space as a reward from the pick. And looks like one by one, you know, a Sentinel. I mean, you have to give credit to Sentinels, how well they're playing this. Quick kill there. Mystic trying to get cheeky with the wallbang there, but Dapper will get the spike down in time.
Oh, that was close. Nice. Sonar bolt. Trying to hit somebody inside and outside. Sentinels pick up another one. Look at game point for map 2. Fnatic's pick. Fnatic with a higher win percentage here as well, but we've seen since split already, these teams are going to take each other to the last rounds no matter whose map it is, Dan.
Definitely. Absolutely. Fantastic matchup between these two teams, certainly worthy of a grand final for the first ever global Valorant event. These two teams are making history. And
Dapper with an up? Double up? What? Okay. Oh, yeah, my word.
I mean, they have so much money, so they can just do this to hold picks at the beginning of the round.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Swap that one out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Oh, it's going to tag one. Oh, good Dober escape. He does manage to escape.
Quick jump.
Had to use the satchel, indeed.
I think that Zoms is one of the ones that picked up the operator too. Says, okay, Doma, if you want to push, we'll shoot you. And Sick gets dropped in hookah.
Beautiful. Now with that pick, Fnatic, Sentinels rather, have to start gravitating towards the site and they have to push. They can't stay spread out here. Boaster looking to hold on to hookah, which is where Sentinels are trying to regroup. So I don't know that they'll be able to push hookah anytime soon, with Magnum also helping here. Boaster trying to play into the smoke for a flash play. It's been a little bit messed up here for Fnatic, and Magnum's going to get sent to his death. Oh, they messed the timing up on that one. Oh, Boaster's trying to hide. He's got to get the kill onto 10s. Gets traded out, though. This is absolutely insane, Riv. And in the meantime, Durka has actually pushed into backside. They might not know that he's here. And the spike plant comes through. It's a huge bait. Is it going to be covered? No! The transfer from Durka is good to take down both. It leaves it up to Dapper now. He's got to just stick the plant straight away. They're going to respect that he might try to come off of it immediately, but he's going to get that plant going. And now it's the 1v2. He has to isolate these players. And Doma connects with the headshot to bring it in for Fnatic to keep their chances alive in map 2.
What a play, what a strat. It did seem that the fumble in hookah was something that cost Fnatic, but I still think Boaster in that situation was able to grab the info, the identity of enough agents that would be putting the pressure down on the site so the team could make that decision to rotate. It looked a little messed up, but I'm sure the comms were there, and then the shots for the rest of Fnatic came through. Are we going to another overtime? 2 maps in a row. We're going to find out right here, as this round will tell us. Round 24. Let's see what happens. Ults up, Hunter's Fury there for Durka. It is the Orbital Strike for Boaster, along with a Viper's Pit, and the Cosmic Divide on the other side for Sentinels.
Yes, a pretty good amount of ults for sure to see, Fnatic in a really good position to actually play retake with the Orbital Strike and the Hunter's Fury. So that might impact how they play the setups. You can see Boaster's much more defensive around elbow. They've got one player committed on the site. Sick is going to go straight into Magnum. That's a very good kill to find. Boaster pops out, takes down Dapper. The Orbital Strike comes through so he can deny the push. The trades can't be there for Sentinels, but still, it's a 3v3. Still, the spike is in control for Sentinels.
Oh my gosh.
However, this push from TenZ, they don't expect it. And TenZ is going to be able to hold this backhaul by himself.
A 3v2 pivotal play there by TenZ. The teleport's going to come in. He's going to be able to hold the site. The flash goes up. It's not going to matter. Dirk is able to take him out as the Leer goes away. Cosmic Divide is there. It's the last ultimate that's going to be available for this round. No one has a chance to grab another. Spike planted default now. Durka and Mystic versus Shazam and Zoms.
Here comes Fnatic. Slowly edging their way forward. The tap of the spike, forcing out peaks, forcing out utility here. Sentinels, they know where one of them is. I don't know that they know where Zoms is just yet. Shazam is blocked off by this. Again, trying to fake it out. And there goes the peek from Zoms. He had to peek in case of the stick. And now here comes the stick. Shazam trying to dance. It's up to Mystic. He protects Durka. And we're going to another overtime here on map 2.
Oh my word, Dan. This is exactly why I wanted to see these map selections go through. It's just, it put pressure each team. We would get an amazing series, and that's what's coming through right now. These teams are able to read each other in the final moments that they need to of each round. Back and forth, and we're going to another overtime here. It doesn't get any more even than this in a grand finals. Your first 2 maps going to OT.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. There's just so many. This is an unlimited amount of things to talk about, honestly, that are just very interesting. But we don't have time because we're straight into the action here between Fnatic and Sentinels. And again, this is Fnatic's home map, much like Split was Sentinels' map to win. They had to win. Sentinels clenched it in overtime. Can Fnatic do just that here as well? Starting off on the attack.
Darts are out. A lot of control. That could be a great shock dart. A little bit more damage onto the side of Fnatic. Boaster down to 47 HP as TenZ and Sick open up. And that's going to be 3 quick frags.
This certainly makes things very awkward here for Fnatic. Boaster's stuck. B long is crossed to the TP's being held. He's going to go down. And Magnum, sure, Magnum has the spike, but and a minute to play with, but against 4 players with no teammates to speak of, it's very difficult. And you are going for it in an overtime. So we'll have to see what he's able to find. Interestingly, we're going to get Sentinels actually playing a 1-3. We'll get TenZ moving across now to assist Shazam.
Little lean over now. They're going to be able to play the dart game as much as they want. As soon as they hear something go in, that's a dart from behind. Never mind. That's just TenZ. 13-12. Is that one spread Fnatic a little thin off the entry? It just seems like as soon... we've only got 2 maps on this, 2 overtimes to see it, but as soon as Sentinels have that overtime refresh, it's a different team than what we've seen for the past rounds that got us to OT. They just kind of come out firing, not even holding hard angles, and they just throw you for a loop, and Fnatic could not find a way back in on that. Now, Fnatic gets to play the defense, and Sentinels has to come up with the strategy.
I think in general, whenever Sentinels are in overtime, again, it doesn't matter what team they're playing, I feel like they're an advantage in overtime. So they're a very, very good team in overtime.
Right.
Well, we can go into that maybe in more detail in a moment. But getting back into this one here, Fnatic looking to keep themselves alive in this second map. It is the best of 5, but again, they really need to win this bind. Dapper with his patented jump peaks.
A lot of util considering they would try to hide here. That was a drone as well that came in. They may have figured that drone got shot by somebody on the right, but it was shot from backside, I believe. So nade and shock bolts are out. Boaster to drop sick right there. Beautiful wall into Hookah.
Yeah, trying to get info there with the flashbang. Dapper reclaiming the position, spotted now. That's going to tell Fnatic exactly what's happening. There's Boaster's smoke to try to deny entry. He also drops the incendiary, so that if they were to push it through that smoke, they would get absolutely wrecked, so they have to respect it. They've also lost 6, so they don't have anyone to satchel in. They're going to be dropping straight in front of Magnum. He's going to take down 2. Huge result there from Magnum as Sentinels struggled desperately to get themselves on the site, and they're going to do just that. But in comes Mystic from the back. And speaking of the back, it's Zoms from backside. He's got to try to recover the spike. He's got 10 seconds. Fnatic can play the time here and force him to plant, but there's nowhere to plant right now. Has to fall inside the structure. And that's the moment for Fnatic to get onto the site. And Zoms is going to hear it.
God.
He's going to peek out, go for it, and it's not going to land. Mystic takes him down. Fnatic, draw it up.
We go again. Bring it to another OT round. Fnatic, do not let history repeat itself from map number 1. They will bring it to another overtime here. Let's get it swapped up one more time. Got to win by 2 in Magnum. I don't know if we can say his name enough throughout this tournament, but I'm pretty sure it can be said more because, man, the plays he's coming up with are giving Fnatic a breath of life in these situations.
Yeah, it's just so many amazing things happening right now. The fact that there's no raise to satchel through that, the fact they have to wait out the incendiary, and then Magnum's in the perfect position to punish. Just brilliant stuff coming through here from Fnatic to hold on for dear life. But now they're in a position, it's once again the overtime situation, it's reset. So we'll see what Fnatic can do on the attack. This was their stronger half, as it was for Sentinels too.
10's up high. A site is held by 3 for Sentinels, 2 on B. So they can keep the darts swinging. You can see Durka and Shazam kind of playing dartsies over there at B. They were firing them, holding each other. Default now by Fnatic to come through. This also becomes a game of what mistakes will our opponents make, because it is coming down to shots, just instant headshots after coming out of a smoke. Great utility usage. So anything you can grab extra here, if the opponent makes an error, they use util out of place. You want to give that time, and that's why we're seeing these rounds go all the way down. Coming up very soon here, 30 seconds is usually that hit, maybe a 25 or 15 second.
They're trying to fake the B site a little bit here and pull the rotation away because the spike's actually moving towards that A site, but TenZ is in an elevated position. He never bit that at all. He just stayed in position. And now Boaster will try to get through here, but there's very little left for him to be able to accomplish. He'll try to push through the smoke, but I mean, he's going to take down Sick, but still very difficult. Going to drop those smokes to try to get additional cover. Oh my goodness. Just trying to creep through these smokes is so dangerous. Boaster picks up another through the smoke.
So smart, so smart.
Kill through the smokes. Unreal movement here from Boaster, but putting an end to the shenanigans will be Zoms. And I mean, I think it was a really interesting play there, Riv, because Fnatic actually shot that boombot in showers with 2 players. So then at that point, I think that made Sentinels think, hang on, we're not so sure about this hookah pressure, that this means anything.
I mean, it's a great call. Seeing little things like that will completely stop a rotation, or even the lean of a rotation that somebody's going to leave the site. So having TenZ pushed up in that position gives him a lot of audio of what's going on in showers, and I think he made a great call there that he was able to hear more than one. TenZ now and the rest of Sentinels back onto the attack side. This is where Fnatic was able to recoup the round and bring us to another overtime. Shazam will enter, and TenZ will follow this drone as they make their way in. Whether or not it's an orb grab is yet to be seen. It looks like they will play full silence. Now, Shazam is on. Obviously, he'll headshot somebody, but audio duty here. What will he see, and how much room can he take?
Uh-oh, TenZ's lurk here in showers makes me feel very afraid for Fnatic.
Oh,
the drone's not even coming through to this position. TenZ, he might feel the opening here because there is a huge opening. This is a gamble from Fnatic to leave this position open. His teammates, of course, working towards that B side of the map here, but Tens, he's going to hear the reload well, but... Oh, and
he's
here
hearing,
goes
he's
the
hearing
util.
thumping, though. Ooh, nice read. Yeah, the jumping that he's hearing, the drone being used. He's like, yeah, there's lack of util now at A. We have a better chance to hit A, but they don't have a read on where any of the Fnatic players are yet. Sentinels go in completely dry, thinking they can walk it through, and Tens has to do a bunch of work to bring this one back into Sentinels' favor.
Yeah, he gets a couple kills. He's got the Empress. He's popped that one now. Here comes Magnum from the back. His timing is really good into this one now. Can he find another one? Boaster in the confusion takes down Tens, who had to spin around. And now Zoms is left with 8 HP. Sandwiched between two Fnatic players. There's no time here. There is no time. Fnatic reset it again. We're going to another overtime here between Fnatic and Sentinels.
The patience, the play, the instant knowledge of what needs to be done here from Fnatic. Nobody scrambled after that. They said, play's done. Stop peeking. We're good. And Magnum, again, being such a huge focal point for Fnatic in this tournament. Continue to say his name because it was not one we thought we'd be saying over Durka, over Boaster, over Doma that much. Everybody's a great player, but man, is Magnum stepping up for Fnatic here. We'll see what they can do. Another overtime, Dan. Let's go. Round 29.
Absolutely. And we'll get the initial presence around showers there from Dapper and Magnum as well, sending into flash, but just like very cheap exchange of a utility, and no one's going to actually have showers control. It looks like Fnatic are looking to just go straight for B here. They're not messing around with defaulting anymore. Oh, the drone B long has been avoided entirely, so Shazam's reading the B orb to be safe to pick up. And here comes the push. All the utility's been sent forward, and Tens will pick off Doma as he tries to get into the site, slowing things down nicely with the Leer and then the smokes to follow it. This is very awkward now here for Fnatic.
Sentinels,
it looks like they're
have been able
struggling
to grab
massively.
every overtime round.
Yeah.
So for them to fall back may actually put the pressure on that Fnatic needs here. But now Fnatic down to 3. 35 seconds left in the round. They are usually good at being pressured into their plants or pressuring the other team, but this might be a little too much.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's very difficult for sure. They've actually left Mystic lurking towards B long to hopefully get a kill, which would then allow them to rotate through the teleporter on A short. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, Mystic is in an important position here, but...
Spike down A.
There goes the TP, but it was without the frag from Mystic, so there's not a lot that Dirk is going to be able to do here with such little time. And there we go. Once again, Sentinels, they seem to have cracked the formula, at least in overtime, of defending these attacking rounds, which, let's not forget, it was like an 8-4 attacking half for Fnatic. They had it on lock in regulation.
They did. They did, and it seems like both second halves of our first two maps have been the time the opposing team, the one that's down, has been able to come back. Fnatic on the first. Sentinels here on the second. Again, they have game point over to them, and it is going to be round 30. We'll see what the rest of Fnatic can do for this one. Back onto defense. It's been feeling good for them. This whole B-long information game that's going on seems to keep coming up each round as the map then spreads out. I think this is the first time we're not getting a default here out of Sentinels to start this.
Yeah, looking to go pretty fast towards this B site, looking to catch these players off guard. But in fact, it is a rotation quickly for Doma that will be reinforcing this defense that Fnatic have set up on B.
My God, all 5? The death ball?
Yeah, it's happening. They're just going to go straight for this with Sick just contacting out. Sometimes this is the best way to do it. Sick. Oh, he almost made it backside. Boaster takes him down, protects Doma, who now sends forward the boom ball. This is going to allow Fnatic to really have a good defense.
Oh, Magnum!
Magnum again. But it's a 2v2 here, Rip. There's 50 seconds for Sentinels to reset this. They're trying to fall back. Oh, that was close.
I thought he took his head off.
TP.
Mystic waiting. HP in favor of Sentinels right now. Dapper and Shazam to run around. That means the IGL is up and thinking right now. The gears are turning for where they need to go. He says it's a call back to B. and it's probably the safest plant, knowing they have a Sova, knowing they have a Viper. Off-site play is probably their best bet to get here. Drops the spike down, so Shazam himself can stay safe for that detect.
Spike planted.
And Shazam in a forward position. Indeed, Mystic not expecting.
Oh!
Hunter's Fury coming out, and Dapper will take down Dirt.
Wow.
Sentinel
Wow.
pick up Bind. They pick up the map of Fnatic. Map 2 goes to Sentinels, and that's a 2-0 start in this best of 5. All they need, Riv, is one more.
Incredibly small things for each map are what is bringing us the result right now. Easily going either way. You can't say fault here. You can't say fault there. Sentinels, going in with the ultimate, hardly ever use the showstopper in rounds, right? It can be used for a lot of stuff, but if you're looking for an error even in the winter, like, there was not much to find. Everybody's playing so fantastically here. From leader to duelists to Sentinels to controllers. 2 overtime maps, Dan, from both these teams. You can't be asking much more in the growth of this rivalry right now.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that one. It was so close. And again, for me, there is this element of, like, in the breakdown, in the chaos that we're in when we hit an overtime, where Sentinels, historically, the core of this lineup across since their inception, they've always been so good. When things break down into chaos, they seem to just really harness it so well. And we started to see those issues for Fnatic over time. And so, with that said, there is still a lot more action to come. So please stick around. We'll be right back after this.
Hey there, you remember about a year ago when Valorant launched, they had this like really cool duelist cinematic where we saw Phoenix going after Jet, and there was this like cool fire, and then she gets a drop on him. And have you ever wondered, like, what happened after that? Well, I got a treat for you, because we have something lined up that displays the next chapter in the Valorant story, which will be released right here, right now, during the Masters REYKJAVIK finals. Let's check it out.
This just in. Reports of a disaster in Italy.
안녕하십니까. 이탈리아에서 들어온 지각이 폭발해 공중으로 떠오른 사건이 발생했습니다.
Sta galleggiando a 300 metri da terra.
Radianite may have been involved.
Kingdom, whose Radianite power program accounts for more than 3/4 of the world's energy production, have denied any connection to this disaster.
Anyone with information on the 2 unidentified Radiants spotted at the scene is being asked to come forward.
Finally! About time you showed up.
We're picking up gunfire. Did you locate the spike?
That would be a yes.
Stay close. Weapons ready.
I was born ready.
This way.
Hey, take a look.
It's stealing Radianite from the environment.
How do we stop it?
I'm on it.
You'll need a Radicore to power the heat signal.
I got this.
Phoenix, wait!
Hands up, come on. You should see your face.
Come on. Did you find a power source?
Here.
Let's go, let's go.
What's that? Not enough power.
It needs to be superheated.
Look out here.
I honestly didn't expect that to work.
Really? So, maybe give us a heads up next time?
Site secure. We're coming home.
That the big man. Tell him I need answers this time.
What is your problem? We crushed it.
Phoenix gotta look in the mirror.
How come they look like us? And what do they want our Radiant out for?
I'll talk to Brimstone. It's time we filled you in.
Yo, we got problems.
We? You're the one that screwed up.
You serious? You had it easy, Jet. You know they're bringing whole teams now, right?
And so will we.
Starting now, you've got 48 hours to claim an exclusive Valorant player card with a cool duality theme. So you go to redeem.playvalorant.com and type in the code you see here on the screen. You only have 48 hours to do so if you want to get that unique player card. Make sure you do it ASAP, and I ain't gonna front, that was dope. I'm actually really excited. I have no idea what's going on, but, you know, in Rito we trust. Anyway, moving on, though, guys, I thought that the script was on, and it turns out Sentinels have other plans. Maybe they want to go to the Blue Lagoon faster. I don't know. But Bind saw Sentinels go 2-0 in this specified finals. And here are your Prime Gaming map highlights. And Potter, Sentinels, they took a highly contested map.
They sure did. They sure did. And, you know, in the beginning of this match, I thought, surely this is Fnatic dominating. They did such a fantastic job controlling the pace on the attacker side. The shower control coming up from Boaster, it constantly kept Sentinels guessing. They've lost control of over that side of the map. And then the misdirections, because of the conditioning that Fnatic were able to do early on in the first half, they're able to throw out fakes after fakes after fakes, and it caught Sentinels off guard. But man, on the attack side, that is where these guys on Sentinels absolutely thrive. Tens going 8-1 in his first contact, first duels, winning out majority of them, nearly 200 ADR on him, just utilizing the dismiss in the perfect times. And man, Sentinels, every time they look like they're out, somehow, some way, a hero rises out.
A hero emerges. You know, watching this game, you know, it reminds me of when I casted, I know it was Sentinels TSM. I think it was either FaZe Invitational or PAX Arena. And I remember thinking to myself, we're seeing the game elevated right here, right now. Like each and every round that passes, the chess battles that we're witnessing, that is exactly how it feels watching Fnatic and Sentinels go toe-to-toe here. And it's only appropriate that it is Sentinels, Vansili, given their long history in this game. This long history in this game, despite it being a short history that the game's been around for. And then, on top of which, they pull off some miraculous feats in this matchup, especially in round 14. It was a big turnaround for the Sentinels.
100%. That came to a thrifty round there for Sentinels. pretty much an equal at the same time. Tens, yes, he's able to get 2 sheriff kills to allow for Sentinels to get the plant, right? But when you look back at the defender side, when they had to rotate for Fnatic, they still had both initiators alive. So the the recon dart and as well as a trailblazer allowed that information to come out. But what I really liked about this was that Sick was there with Dapper. They knew that they were spotted now. You just leave Dapper to die. So that you play the other crossfire setup with Sick running around this site, and then you just get these kills coming in from the backside of short A. So it's not only about the good execution from both of these teams, but it was also about how good the discipline is for both of these teams. The margin of error for Sentinels and for Fnatic is so minimal that it shows why this series is the best series we've witnessed in Valorant so far this year.
Yeah, so minimal. It's 14-12 game 1, and then 16-14, right? Sentinels in OT for game 2. Yep. This honestly couldn't have been a better display. But Mitch, I know that you're dealing with some copium over there, Poppy, but I'm going to come to you because we got to look forward. We got to look forward to Haven. What's going on with Durka? What should we be expecting from him and his importance in the game, but also how does Fnatic bounce back for the reverse sweep?
Yeah, you know, this is obviously somewhere that I'm not going to be bringing a lot of hope for Fnatic being 2-0 down. They need 3 consecutive maps, and starting it on Haven, honestly, coming into this series, what I had painted in the pre-show is that I actually think that Haven will be good for Sentinels because the main downfall for them, again, they did win it last time that they played versus Fnatic, but the main downfall for me was Six's inability to really find value on that Phoenix. And this time around, I think they will have reimagined that, whether it comes down to still playing Phoenix, but renegotiating how they want to play that defender side. You can chalk the attack up to just being unlucky in a lot of the duels that he took versus Durka. But I would also like to see a Sage maybe come in there to provide that extra bit of defensive setup. Overall, though, Sentinels, they won this last time they played it. That was with Fnatic taking a pistol, and Fnatic won both pistols on bind. Everything is set up for them to claim this series, and there needs to be a big step up. And Durka was the man that was delivering again and again when it came to Haven in the last matchup. He's had a bit of a shaky start here today. Yeah. Magnum has picked up a lot of the slack, coming in with some insane flanks, even there on Sky on bind, where I didn't expect that much from him. I think it's ultimately going to be down to Magnum stepping it up, continuing that form, but Durka's got to join him, and we need to see a reimagining of Sentinels Haven, because I think at this point, Fnatic will have them kind of figured out.
And I think this is why Sentinels could just keep playing their game, because yes, if Sick was kind of quiet the last time that they play against each other when he was playing a Phoenix, he is definitely on this series so far. And if Durka's the one that's being quiet, well, you're looking at that head-to-head. Mitch, you mentioned it before we actually got into the series. The amount of times that we had these duels and who was able to shut down Durka, it was actually Sick himself. So that means that Sentinels, keep your playbook, keep doing what you do, and it's working just to perfection.
Yeah, so Potter, now here we are, where Fnatic, you know, they're staring down the right down the barrel here, and Sentinels just want to end it. They want to close this out. Do you think that Fnatic could potentially force this game 4?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think so. You know, every one of these rounds have been so close. My biggest question is going to be, is Boaster going to kind of lean heavily more into this Brimstone pick? I've seen him kind of tinkering with the Astra on Haven. I'm looking straight at Boaster. I think he's the biggest playmaker on the Fnatic side. Every now and then, somehow, some way, he's able to rat his way into the back lines and create some sort of multi-kill scenario for himself. So I'm looking straight at that in-game leader. He tends to be the big playmaker. Fnatic are absolutely going to need him to step up to the plate.
And, you know, when you talk about bringing it the distance, right, to not even 4, but 5 maps, you have to remember, coming into Haven and Icebox, these are the maps that were played last time. We've got the kind of insta-bans, your split, your bind out of the way. Sentinels have a huge advantage having picked them up. But now we come into the stage where Fnatic have gone back to the drawing board, where they've looked at what Sentinels did last time and how they can beat them. That's why I'm saying for Sentinels, I want to see that little bit of a difference from them. It doesn't have to be in the agent selection or anything like that, but they can't come in and play the same game as they did before. Fnatic, just like we've seen from Sentinels, are a team that will constantly innovate and look to improve game to game. And you may bet that they've done their extra little bit of prep time for this game and for these 2 maps in particular.
Yeah, I believe you definitely have to be prepared against Tens right now as well, right? Tens has been the player for me on a map like Haven that had a lot of room to breathe on defense, especially on any of the teams that he played against on Haven this week. So if they could actually prepare the same way to try to push him back all these aggressive angles where he's potentially going to be playing a jet op, then you might have a better chance here for Fnatic overall to get through these site picks. The thing is, for me, what I could take away that was good for Fnatic on that previous map on Vine was their timing. They actually had 2 or 3 really good flanks and backstabs from Boaster and also from Mystic. And Boaster, we know him to be that type of player that could be fairly aggressive on a map like Haven too. So if they don't pay attention, if Dapper doesn't play his Cypher well enough, then Fnatic have chances to upset and get these turnaround kills that could allow them to get the lead in this series.
Yeah, it's been a lot of discussion here regarding, Fnatic needing to turn it around. But Potter, you had also mentioned as well that they simply just Sentinels need to just steer the ship in the right direction. That last game on Bind, 10s went 8 first bloods, 1 first death. Like, you can clearly tell the impact of this young man on this team ever since joining the lineup. So long as they stay on the steady path, it seems like it should be a 3-0 for the North American Sentinels.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking that way, right? And Tens is he's got ice in his veins, literally. He doesn't back down.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he backs down from many.
Oh, go on. He doesn't back down. You're so right. Sorry, we're getting a lot of words from production right now, but it's perfectly fine, though, because we are ready to jump into this game. So apologies to my analysts. But the question is, can Fnatic turn things around, or will Sentinels end it right here? TDK Riv, over to you.
A lot of very important questions that you're asking there, Golden Boy, and we're about to find out the answers for sure. Here in the Prime Gaming Agent Select, Riv, we're getting a little preview of what is to come.
We have the tried and true strategies here for the Agent Select, coming from both teams. The last 4 plays out of Fnatic look just like that, and the last 10 plays out of Sentinels here for Haven have looked just like this. The tried and true Phoenix getting thrown in there. We'll see if it can work again. Last time, Sick had a little trouble, as we heard Mitchman saying, producing those strats, being the one to, come out with the Phoenix and make it work. We've seen a lot of teams shy away from it. Let's see if Sentinels can still prove that it works here as we get on to Haven.
And Sick is the first player we'll be following here off the bat, looking to get that space with Tens towards short A. They're actually contacting this all the way through. Quite unexpected, and they'll find a completely empty site. So I don't know if this is a very solid read, but it's worked out. And it's not the end of the world for Fnatic either, because they can just play retake.
Yep. One of the toughest things identified with this Fnatic retake composition, and even when they're on aggression, if they are in the post plant, they have very little ways to identify what they're coming into. No Sova. You have to wait for Mystic's a utility to come in, and that's hopefully going to be enough for them.
And there's the DQs actually. It's actually, it just missed halfway, but Fnatic are getting the kills here as they force Sentinels to have to peek from those smokes because they don't have any vision. That looked very comfortable for Fnatic. You can see exactly why they were so happy to play retake on A on the pistol, because they knew they could shut down both the post-plant positions of short and long, and then just walk into the site.
Really, really well done. Executing in there, showing you what it means, and what you need to do rather to take a site without having that Sova. It's about teamwork. It's about being there for the trades if the first person isn't taking the shots. And great smokes by Boaster to come in. Can't deny that, as it allowed Fnatic full coverage of the site and agency as soon as they got in. There's that pistol round from Fnatic. Can they keep it going, or do we get another 1-1 in our second round?
And once again, we get a contact here from Sentinels on this pistol round. Ten's looking to get that opening shot. He knows there's going to be a jump here. He's beyond the flash. He's got an opportunity as he swings around, finds Doma in the back, and he might just have a second one. The flick comes through, but Mystic's still alive. Ten's weak, but his teammates now have gained the space onto the site as Fnatic are forced to an awkward defense, but it's looking good for them. As Dapper swings around the site, he makes it hurt a little bit, but still Fnatic are in good position, poised to hold the A site. And it's all onto Zoms now for Sentinels. Couple whiffs, and Fnatic come home with the round. That was almost very scary for Fnatic.
Yeah. Looking at that round, it's one that Sentinels actually was able to exploit the first time they played Fnatic. In the situation, it was Mystic that trailblazered down Cat and Doma said, wait a minute, and turned around to find it was Tens, I believe, at the time, taking him down. That time, they turn initially to watch A, adapt the strat, realize what's going down. Fnatic doing a great job of really making the little things count here and switching what cost them rounds in the first matchup here on Haven with Sentinels. So great to see the adaptation coming out. What exactly Fnatic needs, and they're starting to get that momentum.
Yeah. We get the drone coming down A short as well, so lots of presence from Sentinels, because they also use the gravity well on A long to deny any vision of A long, and the cage was up A long for Sentinels, so Sentinels really pressuring this position, but this play with a judge close range is extremely worrisome for Sentinels, and they're going to back the hell out of there. And we have the rotation from Fnatic. They've got 3 players on A for the time being.
How do we miss a 3rd round operator? Just dipping into the bank super hard here. I'm looking over, I'm like, wait a minute, is that actually what I think it is with Spectres around the board? So it's kind of Durka playing defense for himself. The Spectre can be kind of medium to longish range if you want, but there's no rifle to trade with a missed shot from Durka, so he needs to play that a bit safe. He's going to post it long, which allows the team, this is great, because they're saying, well, we don't know what Sentinel's doing, so let's post up long, and we can fortify the other side of the map. A trade for kills comes in as we start things off.
Boaster's in a great position. They're not expecting he's going to let the Zoms walk past. Trigger discipline moment here from Boaster as he holds the ground, and still they don't know about him. This is the play here. This will ruin everything for Sentinels. He comes through and he pulls the trigger. He only gets the 1 frag though. It's a 3v3. Still a good opportunity here for Fnatic, but that could have been so much more. And Durka comes through, dashing after the whiff. Chance is starting to fall here for Fnatic as now Sentinels start to pull ahead. Another missed opportunity there for Durka as Mystic swings around logs, looking for that next fight, able to take down Dapper, finds the second. Mystic has it all to do, alone in this situation. Is there any util here for Shazam? He's going for the hold here halfway. Shazam! He's going to pull the swing, and he's going to take down Mystic, picking up the round for Sentinels. Oh, Boaster, he's going to be really, really frustrated, surely, with that one.
The corner to be checked. Turned around, got it. You love to see those plays happen, too. I mean, it's just as great to see it stop, but to see him be able to transfer that out would have been amazing. Boaster had such a great play coming up. And the wall kind of stopped him there. A little too much penetration value stopping the gun. 2-1. Sentinels pick one up here as they stop what was the operator round for Durka. Now onto a frenzy, but Bladestorm is there, so Fnatic is not that down and out. This is kind of a played strategy. Sick takes down Bolster, though, and now a 4v5.
Yeah, scary stuff. You're trying to take that opening jewel. Oh, hello. Tens is going to find Magnum.
Oh, my word.
Fantastic follow-up onto Doma. Leaves Fnatic truly rocked after that. They have very little to work with now. Only 2 players remaining. And Tens is... Oh, hello. That right click somehow missed. Mystic will be loving it, though. And Durka's got the Bladestorm. I mean, this would be a highlight moment. It would have to be here from Durka, but the angle from Zoms there, that's the worst possible thing that could have happened for Durka. And Sentinels crush it through 2-2.
Nice flanks, nice plays. Zoms there able to kind of solidify the round if everything in sight didn't go as it needed to. And look at that, right? As he was hitting the ground, before Tens was hitting the ground, his thought process was to the next play. Not where's the next person, it's my next play, and if someone's in front of me, they go down. That processing of information is so damn fast, and why we basically saw Doma still look in the same direction. This is the kind of caliber of play around the board you have to keep bringing to the table. 2-2 now. Fnatic to see what they can do on defense for one more round, as it's going to be a rotation around from Durka. He starts to lean towards different sites, and they're going to play the utility of Magnum for BC here to make sure that Killjoy can lock that down. How do Sentinels get through? Should be not too hard on the eco.
Yeah, and you can see here that Fnatic, they just saw that Sentinels cleared A short with a drone, so they're actually posting up in case there was a player behind the drone. And, it looks like, as far as Fnatic are concerned, that Sentinels are not taking all this space that they just controlled towards A. So they're going to rotate off now. We definitely need to see a big game here from Durka, I feel.
It does need to happen. It seems like Fnatic operates at a different pace, right? When Dirk is kind of opening up everything. Their first match we saw, he kept continuously taking short A on Haven and just opened up the map. They were able to work around everything else, and Boaster with that type of information is basically unstoppable. Here, they get a bit of that, trade the 1 for 1, and now with a rifle in Dirk's hands, it's much more possible to make this round count. We'll see what they can do.
And Durka will make himself known to Shazam. Durka probably doesn't expect Shazam to be there, but you'd imagine he'd be checking this angle as he crosses. But the perfect timing there for Shazam, just as Durka has to look towards Garage, that is when Shazam appears. And it's like Sick will take down Boaster. So there's not too much else happening here for Fnatic in terms of damage, it looks like. There is a safe exit for Sentinels if they want it. Mystic is going to try, they want to try to force the fight, so they want to try and make sure they actually die and get some kills along the way here. Sick will be pushed to defend. Another shot comes in. Another kill there for Doma. So damage being done. Nice shots from Doma. Able to steal away a Phantom. Can he get out of there in time? It looks like he should be able to. The spike is far enough away. That actually works out nicely for Fnatic.
Doma has one of the most disgusting sheriffs at this event. Honestly. Like, if he is not the best with the sheriff and what we've seen. He continuously under pressure can pull up multiple frags. It doesn't matter the situation. You'd love to see him whipping out the big iron to make something happen. So 3-2 here. We're looking at how the money's been working. Wins for Sentinels, $2,900 in credits for loss rounds going over to the side of Fnatic, which means if Durka loses everything this round, he'll have 3,000 credits next round. Easy math. They take a tactical timeout, but you can see how much it is hurting the economy flow now that Sentinels has strung together these 3 rounds. Also, on that last one, Dan, a lot of ultimates popped up for Sentinels. So to have that happen after Fnatic comes off an eco means Sentinels may be able to go for the throat once again, combining a lot of.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a really interesting situation because Fnatic also have that information. So I wonder what they'll be expecting. Because, you know, one thing that in any research Fnatic would have done is you have to know, okay, with the comp that Sentinels is running, where do their ultimates go when they get them? You know, what rounds, what tells are there in their default that let us know how they're going to utilize those? And should we play retake?
Right.
Because, you know, what are the spots that Six going to use this run it back? Like, there's just like so many of these things that if Fnatic have done their research, they might have a good idea as to what Sentinels might want to do. But you can't get too in your head with these things too if you're Sentinels and playing generally, because if you play too far outside of your own game, then you might run into, you know, you might outgame yourself, right? So
exactly. It becomes very difficult in that sense, right? You always want to be able to play your game and avoid, 1, playing the enemy's game, or 2, playing to not lose, which is when you just play so scared, you're still on the map but not doing much, and you can never have that mentality. It just becomes chaos. We see these teams here in the finals, not really something that plagues them. Question, who's going to be able to show up here on 3?
Hey, thank you for watching my channel. Do keep watching, enjoy the live stream.
also Sentinels because the trips go down, and now there can be pushes all across the map here from Fnatic, and they're in a 3v4 after plant. This will be tough. They've got a great spot for the plant. Shazam is able to play from long. He's got Hunter's Fury. There's a lot of things going here for Sentinel's favor. And there goes the push into tens. He's just going to hold the forward ground. He doesn't care. He's taking these fights by himself. Elliot portrayed him down, and they're looking good to try to finish this one. Shazam has to go to the side, gets concussed, has to be great on his first push. Oh my god! How on earth has he done that? The Rebel clutch from Shazam is phenomenal. I don't think he had any right to win that, but you know what? It's Shazam. He is just better than you can ever expect in these moments, pulling out a transfer of all transfers there, connecting with every bullet, holding it true on that spray. Oh my goodness, and he was concussed here as well. That's 3 headshots there.
Oh my word. Okay. I mean, you saw Shazam do it. I'm not sure if there was a delay after the Trailblazer. They knew he was flashed. We'll go to the next round. Dirk here trying to keep himself alive. They're back on the eco for Fnatic in rounds like we just saw start to weigh on your opponents. Sentinels feeling great after those victories. Coming into round 7 here, it's a lot of action towards the A site with a big flank from Sentinels onto C already. What's this going to produce?
Yeah, that flank is coming in as well from Fnatic. Mystic gets one on the front. See if there's any more love here for Fnatic. My goodness, charging forward, and also the flank there by Magnum is good also. It puts Sentinels in a very odd position. Just around before, we have Shazam breaking Fnatic's back with such an insane clutch. Very interesting situation here. The Cosmic Divide as well. With this much time, Shazam could be anywhere.
I think he's going to push all the way through.
30 seconds left.
Looks quite possible here. I do think that would be a really cool play as well. He's going to go for the plant on A. Ghost is going to concuss the back of the site. He spotted him. He's going to take him down. Very good try, avoiding the stars, but Ghost still had the position. What an answer back, though, Riv. What an answer, given what Shazam just did to them. Getting thrifty, huge.
And that's what I said. Rounds like that from a player can weigh on your opponents. Powerlifting over here from Fnatic is what you call this. What a round from everybody. Magnum coming up big on the flank as well. And then on the final kill for Zoms because they knew it was a little too quiet and someone was being a rat. But you're right. To see that come through, to get the operator back into Dirk's hands, Fnatic is doing everything they need to while getting attacked from each side by Sentinels to make sure they stick in this game and can bring it back to the one that they want to play right out of the gate each round. Dirk with the peak. What can he produce?
Got to be so careful here because Sentinels are looking to really force the issue. Run it back is available from Sick. He might pop that right now. How will they deal with Durka, though? Durka, he could be the recipient of a wayward knife from Tens, who's popped that Blade Storm. And look at just the sort of hold of position that's happening right now here for Sentinels. They're waiting to see if Fnatic are going to just start throwing utility. Are they going to rotate everybody? Are they going to start to question things now? Because it's all quiet. Do they rotate off of A?
Phoenix all out of short.
And there's the full frontal assault from Sentinels. It's looking really good. It's going to be retake here for Fnatic.
Planted.
And this, I don't know, this is a tough one. It's very unfortunate here, Riv, as well, because, again, it feels like Dirk is unable to activate with that operator.
As soon as it just seemed like it was kind of flawless. The bread and butter there for Sentinels to get into that. And I think the identification may be, where is Magnum? Magnum slows us down a lot. That's the utility in the site that can really stop us. Doma's going to throw some slows. Slows aren't damaging. Neither is a wall. So there's actually a lot that Sentinels won't have to worry about if they aren't initially seeing Magnum. Otherwise, you're going to have to work on against the amazing aim of Fnatic and their members. But we know what that means. And seeing what type of crowd control or damaging abilities that would displace you are presented at a site, Sentinels are going to feel much more comfortable following Sick in once he identifies that information. So nice, quick, clean round there to get themselves in. And we'll keep an eye on if they're finding Magnum, staying away from Magnum, because he's doing a great job at utilizing Killjoy bots between alert in the middle of B, turret over at C, so he can spread 2 sites and play it nicely in Garage. Here he's setting up his turret, as you see on the mini-map in the corner, and he'll head back to a Garage position to activate both of those and keep that side of the map clean, which almost means those holds on A for Fnatic should be stronger.
And again, we're seeing this A presence. And again, quick fact, quick reminder, Sentinels at Masters 2 REYKJAVIK have not dropped a single map. They win this map, it's a flawless run. Durka, though, is in an elevated position here. Can he get the trade? He gets it onto Sick, but it's... Oh, okay, Mystic with the swing. He's looking for more. And it's going to be a 3v3 here. Shazam is reading the flank already. Boaster is going to get caught off guard entirely. And it looks like it could be a wrap here for Fnatic unless Magnum does something truly unthinkable. Caught in the crossfire, Sentinels pick up their 6th round.
Yeah. Look at the initial attack there. If you can remember what just happened, as they all shot their weapons with not a real peek, right? They stepped out, shot, but were still hidden. Literally to confuse the crap out of your opponent, and then everybody peeked at the same time. It's the consistency of knowing that everybody's going to be doing the same thing. How to execute on even one person in the site that continues, I think, to bring Sentinels on top of these situations. Just having that fundamental, the next step and the next step in place, and always being able to execute on that. Durka looking to make a play, and this could be huge with the Storm as he's seen and caught out by the Cypher Camp.
Yeah, definitely. And he does a good job there by destroying it before it can get vision, so he could still be out there. But it's going to be just as, it looks like a straight push here. Oh, the updraft peak. They were ready and waiting for that one. Sentinels were just holding their ground, looking for the response. Picked up Durka, and now they're just charging through to the side. Backside control for Boaster. He's got to hit every shot. Dapper will eventually take him down, and with the neural theft, they know exactly what's going on. Mystic, last player standing. We get taken down by Dapper as well. 7-3 opening here is looking very dominant from Sentinels thus far, and it really feels like a struggle for Fnatic. You know, Durka can't activate. He got punished for playing too aggressively in the last series against Fnatic. He's getting punished for not playing aggressively enough in some spots, and in the spots where he chooses, right then, Sentinels are just waiting for that move. They've heard the Blade Storm. They know that's a huge possibility, and they wait for it.
And it's wild to see. Come party with me, he said. So looking at how it's happening, you just see they're avoiding all of the danger at first. And everything becomes an advantage as they start off. Almost able to hit Magnum there. Magnum playing it nice and getting 1 HP as he gets the heal up from Sky. A little bit of a reset. And they're back onto ultimates. Boaster's found out as he tries to play a close shot, Dan. Now they're into C again.
Yeah, good punish there coming through, but it's going to be very difficult here for Fnatic to get too much more here. Durka takes down Tenge, but going to need much, much more. Some distraction coming from Garage, but they do know where Durka is. So I see Shazam holding this position.
Yeah.
Good angle from Sick here. There's a swing from Durka. Won't land. And the Sick splash will get destroyed, and he'll get taken down as well. 8-3 now for Sentinels. Starting to look pretty straightforward for them in the first half of Haven.
It's becoming just a series of multi-kills almost, you know? We see a lot of members going down. We just saw Shazam's there, able to get 2 or 3 at the end of the round. Ten's making work here with 2 of his own. So if we're not getting 1-for-1s across the map, it's going to be hard for Fnatic to be able to come up on top of these strats. Plus, they continue to be kind of just pushed into the floor on credits, what they can buy here to another gun round. They're facing 3 powerful ultimates on the side of Sentinels. It's like they continue to come up so Sentinels can rinse and repeat and make every gun round Fnatic has that much harder.
And there's the Hunter's Fury to try to destroy the lockdown. Although he did not do that. Transfer from Zombs won't connect either. Fnatic with a nice crunch through mid. But it's down to Durka now. He's got 3 players left to go. He knows where one is. Where's the extra player? The flick's not good. Tens swings through and just annihilates Durka there. That was so fast. 9-3. And we switch sides. The second half. Is this it for Fnatic? Is this Sentinel sweeping the grand finals 3-0 and being undefeated throughout the entire tournament? That would be something.
Dan, I think they unleashed Tens on a bit of the content plays. Shazam said, run free, make it happen. And I think we're getting a few from him. He's had such a great series here. The question also for Sentinels was, would that change be it? Would Tens be able to be Tens on land? It's all this guy wanted. The break he took was, I'll come back when it's land time. And he did. And now he's there representing for North America at the grand finals of REYKJAVIK Masters here. And Fnatic as well, fighting now to keep themselves in this. 2 maps down, still have what it takes. They're going to do the first B strat, Dan. Let's see how this pays off for them.
Yeah, Tom's straight there, backside, holding things down with the assistance of Sick. Still in position, still causing problems here for Fnatic as they try to push this forward. The wall is slowly being broken, and the integrity of this push is starting to wane as Fnatic still try to hold on with what they have. Missed it with 2 great headshots. Boaster with the finishing move. Great for Fnatic there. That's the start they needed into this second half. They just have to hold on against the pistols.
Super, super big. See how this one happens again. Mystic, everything on the outside that he can produce to give the team the advantage, and Boaster it there to finalize. See if those frags can keep coming up in the second half for Doma and Boaster. Usually we see those two able to lead the charge a little bit with more confident shots, and it may be making Fnatic play a bit more timid to these situations. Here they should have that momentum after pistol round. We'll see if they can grab it. It is going to be the Marshall for 10s this time. See if they can stop the eco from Fnatic.
Really fast pace, straight into B. Durka with a dash straight backside. Oh my god, Sick! Just, I think that was a point-blank shot straight in the side of Durka's face. Now we've got Fnatic, you know, they have control of the site. They use the wall to block off A-Link. So they have a setup here. And it's just going to be tough for the pistols. Oh my god, the spray from Mystic is fantastic. What a player this guy is. Now Sentinels have the site. Seekers go forward. That's going to confirm the information as to where they are. And there's still those nano swarms, I believe. There goes one. It's going to be very hard for Sentinels. The Cloudburst goes down. Oh my god, the spray, the transfer from Shazam. Out comes the Sheriff. He's looking for the headshot. And it's going to be Fnatic, though. They're going to lock it in. I love the B play on an anti-eco.
It's awesome, and they're playing it much faster. We actually saw Haven being a problem for Fnatic the first time they played Sentinels, and ended up being a problem there with the loss. But getting into B didn't allow them to set up, didn't allow them to really hold the site in a post plant because of all the smoke and the utility Sentinels were left with to enter back into site. Here, a better flank, much more aggression, and Fnatic are encroaching into the space that was Sentinels, taking much more control. So a nice job there, and being able to take the site without really having too much of a post plant. You're just, well, it is a post plant, but you're just setting up defense inside the site, which becomes very tricky.
He went straight past the player.
Oh my god!
Sick! My goodness! He's gonna go straight
for
spawn.
That was sick.
Like, see ya! Durka straight in spawn. Tens is looking for him. Oh my god! This guy is doing so much damage, and with that, the chaos as well. The free Dapper is going to get one straight through the wall, and that's going to even it up 3v3, but Magnum is in position. Garage, Doma's slowed on the planting. Oh, but the lineup couldn't be more perfect for Magnum. The timing is unbelievable, Riv.
Magnum, why are you so good? The brain he's working with right now is literally just firing mind bullets to all the Sentinels. He's reading what they're doing. They're 2 steps before they even got to garage for the double collab. I should say the collab. Double collab would be a lot. Now 9-5 here. Turret's going to give him up. Shazam trying to work a little magic.
Yeah, definitely doable here for Shazam. We know how good he is. That's an isolated fight. Doesn't win it. But if he can find another one of those, maybe there's a chance. There is one, but Doma's going to take him down. And this time, Shazam won't pull out the most unbelievable clutch in the 1v2 on that C site. But Durka, my god, he was just... I don't know what he thinks is in defender spawn, but he was trying to fast track it straight there.
Yep.
And there it is. We're getting closer here, Rip. This is looking much more competitive now from Fnatic.
Fnatic having the first 3 build the momentum. They usually get hit up at round 2 or 3 where the other team is able to come through, but they push and eco back onto Sentinels, and Fnatic are now feeling it. In a groove, it looks like they want to work A with a little bit of that utility from Astra on to B and C. With the turret in the middle, they can watch the flank with Magnum and not have to worry about too much as they figure out what utility is going to be where with Sentinel's agents. Oh, goodbye. What a gravity well there from both.
Yeah, no escape. That was very scary as well. Shazam is famed for his pistol aim, and Durka spamming through as well. Got to be cautious, not be overconfident in these scenarios. Sentinels could be quite dangerous with what they're carrying. There we go. Dapper opens it up onto Durka. 4v4. They've got some site position, just diving onto Doma, trading again with the Sheriffs. In comes Fnatic. They have to push past the Cosmic Divide. They have to push past all the vision blocking, and they're going to find the frags to close the round. 7-9 to the deficit as Fnatic slowly but surely start to look more confident, and they start to climb back. But we're into another bye for Sentinels.
And this is now where, as we watch this again, a great retake coming in. This is by Fnatic, I'm saying, the great retake. They retake control of the site, understand what they need to do, and make sure they get another round. And now looking at how Fnatic is playing these, they continue to play strong. They identify what's going on. And now with that eco of getting a few frags, they've strung together ultimates, just like Sentinels was doing when they were on defense. And now, just like Fnatic was doing, sorry, on the other side. But now they can use those ultimates, stack them together, and make sure they have a few rounds to themselves. It's the Bladestorm first. Rez can be there, and Magnum's ult is last if necessary.
Yeah, and these C splits were very, very popular for Fnatic on their attack on the last time these two teams faced each other, and you get that lockdown coming through, can't be denied. So that's going to give all this position. Love that from Magnum. Deep Nano Swarm to deny positioning here for Sentinels. Boaster with the lurk. This is how Fnatic play it. If Boaster finds good timings on that lurk, Fnatic are in a great position. Oh, hello, Durka! Playing whack-a-mole. And that is a really good opening for Fnatic. A 4 versus 2 now. And Durka's looking for more, and he's going to get it. Tense goes down, and now there's no hope for Shazam.
And check out, look at how they defend the site here. Again, we bring up the no Sova point. It makes Fnatic have to defend the site like this. And that's not a bad have to. This is how they choose to. But they're just up in your face. Retaking the site has to be fast. So you're also pressuring Sentinels and needing to get there in numbers. Not playing their game of trade one. Fnatic really adapting this strategy that has to stay in a site to play post-plant, which is a difficult thing to do, and continue to take rounds away from Sentinels. 9-8 now, Dan, as we keep going.
Yeah, and one point to note from the previous matchup with these two teams is that Sentinels would win A control pretty easily most of the time, and Fnatic didn't really invest too much in it, and they relied a lot on C splits and sometimes like fast timings into B. That's how Fnatic got most of their attacking rounds the last time these two teams played this map. And we haven't seen exactly that as much, but it is shaping up somewhat similarly, and Fnatic are looking actually a bit better so far. So we'll see if that continues, because we've got a hodgepodge buy here from Sentinels with the Bladestorm. So they are dangerous in this round.
And that wall that Dome is placing when they get over to C for those takes, you see how he leaves the left side open? It's so interesting. A lot of times you would wall off the entirety of the C defense entry because you want to know where they're coming from. But leaving that open makes the defense guess, is somebody on the back platform area? Are they anywhere I have to look? What a great mind game wall, as we see a lot of action in. Dapper's like, one may dash behind me, but I can't look.
Yeah, and he gets one from the judge in that position as well, so that's ideal for Fnatic. You know, I feel like the judge is often getting to there for sure. And that does make it very difficult. Tens, again, still has the Bladestorm available. And here he goes, 1 versus 4 here for Tens. You never want to put it past him to pull out the impossible. And there's the first engagement, and that's not going to go too well. Switching out for the Spectre. Just a bit too awkward on those first few throws, and Magnum will take him down. 9-9, Fnatic. It was looking like all of the energy was just sapped from them, but they are truly, well and truly back in this. And this is a map that I think we would expect Sentinels to really win this one. Will be very comfortable here, and Fnatic are looking great right now.
They are. Fnatic's attack on Haven, 63%. Just like their bind percentage, it's up there. So good, and we see them starting to attack back on this so well right now. Sick does have the run it back. An ult for Doma there if they want to bring someone back onto the map for this. His Tens looks to get an early operator into play. Phantom for the entirety of Fnatic here in round 19.
Oh, and Durka again with these forward dashes into B. It's been really good for Fnatic, and it looks like it might convert again to get the opening kill onto Zombs. That's all the Astra stuff out of the way with. The Seekers come through as well for Magnum to allow him to understand how the position. Oh, he should have won that one. Shazam with a great recovery. with the Seeker in his face, still picks off Magnum, and that will take it to a 4v4. And that's going to really give a chance here for Sentinels.
Boaster on the roam. What will he be able to do from the other side as he waits to hear more shots, waits to hear confirmation from the team before they all move? And again, this is where it could be tough. If Sentinels get the smokes down that are necessary, actually they're out of smokes. This is good for Fnatic as the retake is going to happen. Shazams takes down one. They use the Phoenix wall to fake it. What will happen?
Boaster,
my
Boaster's
word.
position was so key. And Tens, that's got to be
Wow.
a scope there. And they're going to have just enough time to defuse this one as Dapper locks it in for Sentinels. They go 10-9, but that's the B plays for you. You know, really relies on you taking control somewhere. And Magnum, unfortunately for him, you know, missed this kill. This kills everything.
And it becomes a bit chaotic. Having to stay in the site, not being able to watch all those angles, because playing outside of it means you deal with walls. As we see Mystic out behind this one, can't really help. It becomes tough. Fnatic is doing such a good job at initiating these rounds, and then again, they put Sentinels in one of their favorite things, the retake. So it might need to be Fnatic pushing forward a little bit more. They were taking ground earlier, having somebody go through garage and get a little bit more. That was really pulling Sentinels apart, and I love that from Fnatic in the earlier rounds.
Yeah, I think if they run that again, they have more success. They had so many things going for them there. I think that's why both are so stressed out by that one. Tens finding Durka is a good opening there for Sentinels. And it looked like Fnatic wanted to mix things up and explode onto this A site. That will force out the res. At the very least, the res is there for Fnatic. Now, Fnatic actually spreading out here. So they've left a lurk towards A short and Magnum. And actually, no, the spike is going to be there as well. So it's going to be a fake of the C rotation. But they have to sell this one. Oh, that's a huge
It's not sold.
Fire from Sick. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Rib. Definitely not sold, but they still take down Tens. So 2v4 after plant. It is workable.
Sonar Bolt waiting to come up for Shazam. Possibly wait for that to happen before they even retake the site. Yes, Magnum pushing up. This is perfect, but there's too many on each side, and he gets crossfired as he goes for the play that can give him the advantage. Great thought. The Sentinels just has too many there. A 4K for Sick as he starts to bring it back on the Phoenix. Now round 11 going over for Sentinels.
Yeah, that was so close. So many spots there. You know, what if not for Six? You know, insane 2K. We're gonna, I'm sure, see it. The opening Dragon and Sick on that rotation. They really had to sell this. All they have to do is get the kill onto Sick and then try to delay, and this round will look very different.
Yep. And that was so quick from Sick. He's like, well, I just shot a guiding light, but I shot a jet, so let me look for the sky. Like, instantaneous. As all these players are doing everything they can to make it work for their squad. Back to guns. Vandals and Phantoms being chosen on the side of Fnatic here as Tens gets pulled around a little bit.
The default looking once again as it did in previous rounds here, where limited focus towards A. In fact, a lot left up to Tens on A. He's the solo defender there with the operator. It makes a lot of sense. You can see that there is Sick action on B here. They're expecting Fnatic to go back to these B plays, which have been quite successful. Largely successful for Fnatic, and they need success right now, so you would expect it. The Divide comes through. They're going for a fast switch up into the C site. There's the dive through. Oh my god, Sentinels bring the fight to Fnatic.
The double dive through. You hardly ever see it. Sick goes back in, and there's another one as well. It's going to be Dapper taking down Magnum. Boaster trades, and now he's a left V2.
Doesn't expect Dapper to be there.
That's
And that's championship point for Sentinels.
Match point.
This is it. This is the moment. Now Fnatic have no more lives left. They can't set a foot wrong at this point. But yeah, you're right, Rib. What an insane call, just at such a moment's notice, for Sentinels to communicate to each other, we're pushing through this together. Like
you already have the team on their heels to say, all right, we have a few rounds to jump in your face in the championship grand finals BO5. Like, those are not the plays you're expecting a lot from people unless it's a jet or a Phoenix just by himself. Dan, here we are, 12-9, possible championship point here for Sentinels.
And Bosa goes down straight away, trying to challenge TenZ on that A-long position. And in goes the B play. Trays on through as they vibe for position. Fnatic, they get the wall up. Res is available here for Doma. If he can find it, it's going to be very difficult, though, because they know surely that someone is in this site. It's Shazam sending forward all the utility there. Gets caught, though. And we also get the lockdown coming through here. And Doma's in such an awkward position by himself. Finally gets the res in. Sick, making his way from C-Link. Fnatic in a 4 versus 2 here. It's going to take a lot for Sick and tends to pull this one out. Magnum with the flank. He's going to find both players. There's
oh
the
my God.
Great stuff.
So
great
good.
timing from Magnum. And Fnatic stay in it for a round longer. Can they get to overtime, though, Rick?
I sure hope so, Dan. Yeah, let's go. Give me
more
more and more. Let's do it. What a play. And to see this perseverance from your teams at the top of the table, obviously mainly Fnatic here, not letting backs against the wall even turn down their aim. They come out strong with a round that keeps them in this series, in this best of 5. They're back against the wall here. And now it looks to be the A strat, as we see Boaster setting up smokes all around, just to make sure Sentinels is thinking.
Yeah,
a little bit of a push here from Sick.
It's crazy if you think about the position for Sentinels. They're so heavy towards Garage and B because that's where Fnatic find their success. So Fnatic have actually completely timed with this one. If they contact all the way through, in fact, they've sent the Trailblazer out now. So Fnatic, or the Sentinels know what's happening. But this was the perfect read from Fnatic. They just have to find a way to win with this position. And they just don't expect TenZ. Oh no, they were not checking for TenZ. They do trade him out though, but Dapper has crept onto the site. The trades now as Shazam creeps, and it's 2 versus 2 after all of the trades. Do they know about Zombs? Mystic does, and now Sick is going to be him. This is Mystic pulling out the Seekers. He's got the crosshair placement, but Magnum swings, and it's a win. Keeps Fnatic in this one for another round, a chance at an overtime.
If you even guess once that Magnum wasn't one of the people keeping Fnatic in this game, there it is, proof right on the screen as he finishes off a round to keep Fnatic now 1 point away from overtime in the grand finals with the most pressure that could be on this squad from Europe. They continue to perform, and this is one of those qualities people saw in the team coming through, is what made Fnatic so strong. They can get through a lot, even with their fundamentals being amazing. When they're called upon, they can do it.
This buy, though, from Sentinels is a bit scary because it seems like it's desperate, but in the desperation, we can get the Chaos, and Fnatic are going to put the Chaos on. Grove!
Oh my God!
An absolute beast there! Just savaging that defense on C with the knives. And it's going to be TenZ here now that we're following, trying to find something on the flank. He knows there's someone up here. We've got Boaster meditating in the window. He'll get caught. Shazam's creeping forward as well. Oh, he times Sturker.
They're running through. Sonar up. Doma's close. They don't know. Oh my God, he gets flashed.
The team flash. The team flash. Magnum's in the smoke here. TenZ.
Oh my God.
Magnum's got no HP. Not like this. Sentinels. They're going to get the defuse. They've done it. Sentinels are the Masters 2 REYKJAVIK champions. And they do it flawlessly. They didn't drop a single map. They have made history here, Riv, because they are the first global champions in Valorant history.
Stunned Fnatic. Played so well throughout everything, coming in as such a strong team. And we see a grand finals that continue to go the distance with overtime. A 3-0 still, as we said, for Fnatic. And we can see they know how good they are. Still smiles on their faces. They're going to come back stronger. But it's the team on your screen right now from North America. Sentinels, as you said, Dan, grabbing the Masters REYKJAVIK Championship for Valorant. 1 year later, this is the team that's setting the pace.
And there can't be a single question anymore about the best team, the best region. The Sentinels have won this tournament. They've represented North America here. And I think it's fair to say, you know, they are the best team in the world. Finally, conclusively, definitively, we can state this. As we've now concluded our first episode. It's amazing if we consider the history, over the last year, the hype, and how much discussion has gone back and forth, how much theory crafting has gone on over the various podcasts and shows that we've had discussing Valorant esports. Finally, we have some answers here, Riv.
What a game from this team. Tens gets to play on land, having a great time for himself. Sentinels come up so strong throughout the tournament. And like you said, without dropping a map, they're able to come in and make this happen. And no doubters anymore that Sentinels can perform as the best team in the world.
And some of the things that they had to do to make this happen is kind of insane, because I really feel like Fnatic played an incredible game of Valorant here. At this tournament, they played so very well. And against Sentinels, they played so very well. But there is just this element, there's this X factor that exists with the players on Sentinels that just somehow always makes it feel like it's possible. Stuff like we're seeing right there from Tens. Every single player delivers so much in the key moments that you just always have something. You always have a play. You always have a chance with this team, no matter the situation.
Spike down.
Great communication from map to map. In this series, there wasn't a lot of combo utility usage. A lot of the set plays were done with bodies. A lot of things were brought forward with power and numbers and kind of trying to find the precedent of your opponent. And Sentinels as well. The first bloods coming out of Tens, the ability to take Fnatic down a member is always going to make it harder.
Yeah, it's so crazy to think that, you know, we've come all this way, and this is the moment that we. Well, I guess we'll throw it over to Dash on stage.
Sentinels. It has been a long road to Reykjavik, where 10 teams arrived and competed, but only one remains standing and able to call themselves the world's best. And they did it in undefeated fashion, taking down every other region at the tournament without dropping a map. Once again, Sentinels and Sick, I'm coming to you first right here on my right. My dude, how does it feel to be the first ever winner of an international LAN for Valorant?
Yeah, I mean, it feels really good. Like my entire CS career, like I was wanting this so bad. So like to come out right out of the gate in Valorant and being able to, you know, prove everybody wrong and like prove that I could be a champion is really good.
And you do it reunited with your boy Shaz over there. But beyond that, yes, this title earns you the title of best in the world. And we know that definitively at this point. But I'm curious from your own standpoint, why you think, what makes Sentinels the best team in the world?
Yeah, honestly, it's really just our adaptability and like the chemistry we have together. It's actually insane. So like overall, we're just like it's the best teammates I've ever had. So in general, like we just have like the kind of chemistry that I can't even describe. Like we just go in and just own everybody. So it's insane.
And we see it play out there in the 3-0. Dapper coming to you next. This is a series that you've now had to play through twice, essentially, against Fnatic. The first time around, you got it 13-11, 13-10. This one, they played you close throughout. And I'm thinking particularly map 2 on Bind, their best map. You at one point were down 9-4. So specifically, I want you to walk me through that map, how you guys clawed it back and were able to shut them out.
Yeah, so when we go down to like those like insane like detriments, I always do like round by round, like let's go, we get to win this, like let's go. When we lose the stupid rounds, like don't worry about it, don't talk about it, just keep focused. And yeah, like we all have mental strength to just bounce back. You know, that's what makes us great.
Now you do realize after taking the victory like this on land that you put a bit of a target on your back now for every future Valorant event. So Dapper, I want to hear from you what you have to say to the rest of the Valorant world out there who's looking to come for you.
No, good luck. We're just going to get better.
That falls exactly in line with what Shaz told me the last time I talked to him coming into the final series. Said, good luck. You're going to need it. And, dude, you brought the whole team to a 3-0, another shutout. You broke out the IGL jacket here today, special occasion. How's that trophy feel?
It's heavy. All right, I'll try and get you out of here quickly then, so you can go put it down in the trophy case. But I know that this has been a long road for you, a long time coming. An entire career in CSGO, the transition over here into Valorant, being the leader for the team. We talked about everything that you do day in and day out to help lead this crew to victory. Give me a sense, man, of everything that's going through your mind, your body right now as you take this in.
It's crazy, man. We made this team over a year ago now, and you know, there's a lot of doubt, a lot of people saying watch player this and that, but like this like proves to a point that like don't let anyone else tell you what you can or can't do. Like, don't let others decide your future. Like, we put the work in, and it shows. We're here now.
History's being made right here on this stage. Tens, you weren't even on this team a few months ago, man. What? Now you're a LAN champion. You're the world's best. How are you feeling?
Always, like, I feel wonderful. This team is amazing, and I feel right at home with them. And hopefully I can continue playing with them because this is the best team I've ever played on.
I mean, you are so early on in your career, such a young player with so much promise, and it seems the way the world talks about you that there has to be this pressure building. And there was a lot of conversation about how it would perform out here on a LAN in and of itself. How are you responding to that pressure? How are you taking all of that in?
For me, it doesn't feel like I'm nervous. I would think I would get nervous, especially since people might doubt me from my CS days on LAN, but you know what? Like, it's a new game, and I'm sorry. It's just amazing, man.
It's a new game, and you're at the top, dude. Take it in. Breathe it in. There's no one else out there to steal that oxygen. Zoms, finally, for you, this is a game, Valorant, a scene that has brought players around from all different game types, yourself included, Overwatch, Apex. I want to first get a little bit of a sense of what the transition was like for you as a player from one scene to another.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy for me. I'm just insane at every FPS. Any new game that comes out, I'll be pro, whatever, you know. You know how it is for
all
the
right, well,
nation.
but okay, you just stick around in Valorant for a bit, will you?
We'll see what happens. No guarantee.
All right, talk like that is what I love to hear. We know that from here, we're looking at Berlin. And in fact, with this victory, I don't know if you guys know this, but you have already locked a spot in Champions at the end of the year. So I also want to get a sense from you how that feels. So not only take the victory here, but to have propelled yourself into that position.
Yeah, it feels super good. I mean, that's the main thing we want to win. That's our goal, to win Champions end of the year. This is just the stepping stone, and we're going to take Champions.
Alrighty. Well, once again, to all of you, congratulations on a phenomenal achievement. And to everyone around the world, what an incredible journey this has been. Bringing together the best teams from around the world to compete here in REYKJAVIK, Iceland. An amazing host to what is the first international LAN in Valorant history, and it will go down as such. Now, we've seen wild clutches, we've seen amazing aces, we've seen nail-biting overtimes, a couple of them in this final series here, and the rise of brilliant new stars. The future is bright for Valorant. And as we bring this event to a close, we set our sights on Berlin. So one last time, join me in celebrating your Masters REYKJAVIK champions, Sentinels.
was Dash with our Verizon post-game interview, and what an interview it was, Riv. We got a lot of information there. Tens, really wants to stay on playing with Sentinels. You can't blame him. It's amazing that, because that also reminds me too that, yeah, he